pretty cool. All right. I'm here until 9. Right. So let's do this.
All right. All right. We good there?
Part 2, guys. Part 2. All right. Part 2 of the podcast. Starring. Hosted. But fuck. This is the Tampa Film Network podcast, Volume 2, hosted by Childish Gambino, starring. All right. This is the Tampa Film Network podcast, hosted by Childish Gambino and guest star Anthony Caban, who was talking shit last time.
And he's gonna continue his shit talking this time. But this time, he talks shit about everyone.
Everybody sucks.
I don't like that Anthony Caban. He's always making me work hard. He's always making me show up on time, hit the marks, get my blocking straight.
And I don't get paid.
And it's not like continuity matters. Jesus Christ.
And I'm just hoping that he films with Ari Alexa or fucking Red. Fuck out of here with that shit.
All right, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're live.
What's up?
Welcome back to the podcast, Anthony Caban.
I'm glad to
Glad to be here.
I am glad to be here again.
All right, pull that up closer to your face.
All right, so I'm glad to be here again.
I had a really good time last time we
Same
talked. It's just such a shame that the video file for that podcast got corrupted. And what happened was we ended up uploading just the audio backup, which is why we do audio backups. So at least we got something online. But it was a really good conversation. If you didn't hear the first interview with Anthony Caban, go back to that and listen to it because it's really awesome. It's on YouTube, but we put it on Facebook as well. It is number... Which one is it? It was podcast number 9. So if you go to Tampa Film Network, number 9... And today we're doing number 14. So welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be back here again. And yes, please check out the first podcast video in case you haven't seen it. Episode 9, I believe.
Yep.
Episode 9 is...
There's nothing to see, but there's plenty to hear. And it's awesome.
There's nothing extremely badass, but... It was a pretty good conversation for over an hour.
Oh, it was a great conversation. I really appreciate it. I liked hearing people's insights, man, about filmmaking, just independently. So, this podcast, talking to actors, talking to crew people, talking to anybody who has anything to do with any production, it's been really informative for not just me, but a lot of people who pay attention to the podcast.
Uh-oh. Jeremy says, what up, boy?
Is he watching?
Yeah. Wait, okay. Are you watching?
We need to... I haven't...
Can you, pull it up?
I haven't hit the share thing.
Jeremy, my boy, what's up, bro? How's it going, brother? Jeremy's a cool dude. I met him on the set of Caleb, and we were always throwing lines from The Departed.
Really?
Yeah. You're no fucking cop. But he's a cool dude. Jeremy's an awesome dude.
Oh yeah, he's commenting on it right now.
What is it? What do you say?
I don't know. It's on the thing. What is it? But I'll pull it up in a second. But yeah, man, I want to catch up with you. So you recently went to Gasparilla?
Correct. I volunteered there.
Volunteered. Volunteer?
Volunteered. Yes.
Is that a good way to get in?
It's a good way to get in, but it's also a very good way to network with more people in the industry. Mm-hmm. I've had a cool 1-second conversation with William Fichtner, who directed, who directed and wrote and starred in Cold Brook. Again, I haven't seen the whole movie, but I'm not really a critic, so I can't really speak for it. But that's up to the critics to talk, because I'll talk a lot about reviews and all that soon. But back to the subject here, it was cool to have a conversation with William Fichtner and Kim Coates about advices of directing, because this was Will Fichtner's directional debut. And he was telling me, just keep going, never look back. And yeah, I've got those advices a lot, but I wanted to hear from people who already made it. Not to put people down, but people who've already, gotten there, who've gotten where they need to be. Right. And Will's a cool guy. I've actually met, I've met, Ryan Justice.
Yeah. I saw you had a picture with him.
Yeah. We actually met up again, and we've had a pretty cool conversation. He told me that the only way to raise more money for Survival the Apocalypse, by the way, we already passed 1,000. Mm-hmm. Wait, the last time we were here, did it already pass 1,000, I said, or not?
I don't know. I don't remember. But this one, what's the name of that film?
Survival the Apocalypse.
Okay.
I believe, no. We were, last time it was like, around 850 something at that time? Yeah, it's already past 1,000 already. We're at $1,332. Yes, guys, if you're watching this video, I am still currently raising money for Survival the Apocalypse. The deadline is no longer February 28th. We already know that's passed. The deadline is actually going to be on May 1st.
Okay.
So if you guys want to still keep donating, please do. If you can't, share the word. Ask people around. If you know anyone, friends, family that is willing to help out, make a small donation, that would be fantastic, and it would really mean a lot to the film community. And we just want to make films. We want to make, fun and exciting films, and we just want to, make some cool shit.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about. It's making films. Making films is all about the creativity, the passion, the art, and not talking about politics.
Yeah.
Politics should be the least relevant of filmmaking. Filmmaking is all about, having fun with what you put. It's all about the art and craft, not the political bullshit that we're seeing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Gasparilla was a pretty cool festival. This is the second time I've been there, but this is the first time I volunteered there. And Ryan, he told me to make some short films, and with better audio, of course, because I'm still working on that currently. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I am gonna work on a few short films next month so that I can raise more money and show them what I've made. Mm-hmm. That way, if I ask another friend if he wants, or if he or she wants to donate, they don't have to go and say, have you made any films before? And I'm just like, check out my post.
So do you feel like the festival is a good opportunity to earn money more or network more?
Both, but mostly networking with people, mm-hmm. if you want to work with them. But it's all about networking.
Gotcha.
Money comes later, if I want to ask them.
Okay.
Because it's not about networking just for raising money. I'm just networking with more people to get along with more people. Get in the business. Get more noticeable.
Right. So did you get to meet Sean?
Sean.
He's real tight with Ryan.
Sean wasn't there.
No.
Yeah,
I think he just did a film. I'm not sure if it was with Ryan Justice, but he had something. He posted something on his Instagram.
Good for him.
Let me see here.
Let's see.
Because you admire him so much. As
no, I don't.
actor.
When the fuck did I say I admire him? I don't know him. I actually saw Hangman. That's why I went to go to Gasparilla this year. Oh no.
Sean Gloria.
Good actor though.
Good actor though.
Good actor.
he's cool. But yeah, he was posting like these.
I love the third photo.
Yeah, the third photo is cool.
It looks like a rip off of Raging Bull. Raging Bull bootleg edition, maybe.
I guess so.
I mean, if they do a Raging Bull remake, that's the man for the job. I mean, he's got the look, he's got the body, no homo, he's got the style, he's got that facial look too. So
looking ripped.
If they decide to make a remake of Raging Bull, Sean Gloria is definitely the man for the job. No fucks given.
All right.
Yeah. Wait, pull up on Facebook. I want to see what people are saying on the live, because there's been some notifications
on the live.
Yeah, the live.
It's on the other screen over there.
The other screen?
Yeah. Wait. You can actually pull it up on your phone. I think.
Oh man, but then I'll be making a disturbance.
Yeah, you can pull up on your phone, but just try to silence your phone. But that's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
he said, "Hey, Anthony. Hey, Randy. What's up, man? How's it going, brother?" Oh,
Do you hear that echo?
yeah, I can hear that.
Oh, okay.
Echo. That's why I'm going down.
All right, cool.
Also, Randy is also raising money too, as well, for his own thing. And if you guys don't know Randy Korn, please add him. He's a pretty cool guy. I met him at Silver Screen for short films. He is trying to also raise money for something very unique, and he's a good guy. He's also a very good filmmaker. Definitely give Randy a shout, man. Definitely. And hopefully, if Randy's still watching this, I'm just giving you a shout out, man. Letting you know that people should check out your work and donate.
What's he currently raising money for? What's his project?
Let's see. Well, unfortunately, I think it's something that has to do with. I'm not sure exactly. Let me check. Let me pull up the message.
Okay. Shout out to Randy
Shout out to Randy Korn.
and whatever your.
It's all about funding
Causes.
Crescent Wave Entertainment. A studio, I would say.
Trying to get a studio going.
Trying to get more funds, and I think it's incredible that you want to raise money for whatever you want to do in the relations of filmmaking. It's a pretty good thing. But I'm gonna get that now. I got that out of the way. But Gasparilla was a pretty cool festival. I saw some pretty good films. I saw Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
Got that out of the way. I didn't see Hotel Mumbai or The Hummingbird Project because a lot of people were gonna go see it. And Best Friends Volume 2.
I didn't see that one either.
I didn't see that one either, but I bumped into Greg Sestero though.
Yeah.
Greg told me it was good to see me, and it felt awkward because I don't know. I can't believe. I don't know if he does recognize me from last year, but major kudos.
Who was it that I saw you with in one of those pictures that looked like Matthew McConaughey with bad hair? Why are you laughing like that? Was that Matthew McConaughey?
No.
Okay, it
I
looked.
thought you
like
were about
him.
to say Matthew Broderick.
Okay, no, it looked like Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey. Which one was it?
I don't know. It's on your Facebook.
It's on my Facebook. All right. Let me check it out.
Tell me this. What was the best part about the Gasparilla experience?
Is this the one you're talking about?
No, that's Brent.
That's Brent.
Yeah, I know Brent. I know
Brent's
Brent.
awesome.
Brent's cool.
Yeah, I'm watching you, Brent. Always wanted to say some crap about me. Let's see. Which one? You're talking about that guy?
Let me see.
Is that the one you're talking about with the bad hair?
No, that's not him. I know
Obviously.
who that is.
Obviously, the Dark Knight opening.
This was who I thought.
That's Kim Coates, man.
Okay, that's the thing. I was like in the rush, and it was like on my little phone, so I was like, that kind of looks like Matthew
Okay.
McConaughey's nose and kind of his shape of his face.
So repeat that question you were saying.
What was the best part of the Gasparilla experience?
I think it was mostly meeting with people. And seeing some films. Bumping into Ken and Anjani. It was great to bump into, same people.
Yeah.
But it was also great to meet new people. There's a lot of good opportunities in the future if you bump into actors and especially directors as well. Also, going to the after party.
Oh, was that fun?
In a way.
Okay.
In a way. But when you're playing Mo Bamba to a group of people who are like 30 and over, and they're dancing to it, especially old people, it kind of seems a little bit cringy. Mm-hmm. You know Mo Bamba, right?
I know old people trying to dance.
You know the I got hoes calling on me. You know that song? It's a meme.
I don't know that song, actually.
Oh, okay, good. Because it's a big song that's been playing at every single club. And when I see a bunch of old people dancing to a 2018 song that's mostly targeted towards teenagers and people who are 21 and only played at those young clubs, it's cringy. I'm just like cracking my ass up.
Yeah. I can kind of understand.
They look like the type of people that listen to Britney Spears, okay? Don't get me wrong, I love Britney Spears.
I like Britney Spears too.
What's wrong with Britney Spears?
Another before she was crazy and after.
Another last but not least, a good thing about Gasparilla was also watching some films, as I said, watching some pretty good films for free.
Yeah.
Because there's no way in hell I'm going to pay to see every damn movie. And to get that VIP badge for like the 4-day pass, I don't know how this happened, but it was $75 this year.
How much was it last year?
I believe $35.
Okay, so it looks like they're making a little bit more money this year. Maybe their costs are exploding and we don't know.
Or maybe they're just conservative.
Ooh, Ruth is here.
Who's Ruth?
Ruth is going to be reacting to a couple of films with us today.
Awesome.
Hang on 1 second. Let me just let her up. I'll be right back. Entertain your guests.
No. Please don't leave me hanging. Please don't leave me hanging.
We can pause. We can pause.
Let's pause it.
It'll just take me a second because she's calling me right now. Hang on 1 second.
It sucks when I'm, leaving hanging here. He's going to leave me hanging here. It pretty much sucks. All alone. I'm just all alone. Please don't leave me hanging. Uh-oh. The comment, Santos Torres Jr. What's up, bro? I'm melting. Anthony, entertain me, I'm melting. I mean...
And we're back.
Fuck chicken nuggets. There's your entertainment.
All right. It's kind of aggressive towards chicken nuggets.
Or fuck Disney. There's your entertainment for what they did to Fox.
Hey, Fox consented.
Fox doesn't have my consent.
Okay.
They don't. I just want X-Men and Fantastic Four to Disney. That's it. But now that we got the Gasparilla part out of the way, I also want to talk on something very important that I believe I made on Facebook, but this was only a post. Mm-hmm. And I want to get this off the record on video because anyone that's watching this, some people that are, that I'm friends with that are watching this, I'm pretty sure they've seen my reviews and stuff. I don't want to do movie reviews anymore.
You mean your rants?
That's separate.
Okay.
What I mean is that, like, reviewing movies, like, if a new movie were to come out, like Captain Marvel, like, I'm not going to review it.
Okay.
And it's not because of the movie. It's because if there's a movie that I don't like, I don't see the point of reviewing it. like if I see a movie that was okay, I'm not going to bother. Because of the fact that you're in the business, too. Mm-hmm. And whether you go to see a movie and it turns out pretty awful, you got to at least have respect for the filmmakers who spend a lot of money making the films. And you never know what happens in the future. You can end up working with that filmmaker.
Okay, that makes sense. And I get what you're saying.
It's I feel like it's a good way of maturing as I'm getting older, because I don't want to end up, working with a filmmaker that I've ranted about and talked shit about.
Right.
Like, okay, 50 Shades. Okay, those movies are pretty bad. Okay. But do I blame the director for this? No. Do I blame the studio? Yes.
Okay.
For making 50 Shades? Yeah, I blame them. Twilight. I don't like Twilight. I'm not a fan of Twilight.
All right, slow down. Let's just slow
Why? Because
down.
wait, there's someone here that's a fan of Twilight?
There's a million people who are a fan of Twilight.
Fuck Twilight, I don't care.
Wasn't that bad.
Excuse me? Anyways.
Hey, I'm not dying on the hill,
Right. The thing is about Twilight is it's not my cup of tea. I don't want to see two vampires kissing. It sounds kind of cringy. I'd rather watch Interview with the Vampire than watch that. Even though Interview with the Vampire, that's a pretty good movie.
You could do worse.
Oh, no, and Jennifer's Body. That's also a very good movie, too. But in terms of Twilight, I don't want to see two vampires cringing, and then there's a werewolf interfering with the relationship. That kind of feels cringy. I'm just glad that those Twilight movies are over because they have been nothing but abomination. At least they've moved on to like better films.
So I guess it's this is only for movie reviews of movies that you don't like, and you
also,
probably wouldn't work with somebody who made Twilight.
Oh no! The director of the first one, she's made some pretty good. She's made some solid movies in the past.
All right, come on in whenever you're ready. This is Ruth Antunez.
Hey.
Hello, Ruth.
She's kind of a regular guest.
Oh my god, I got McDonald's.
I mean, I just drank this soda.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, I don't want to review movies anymore. Now, unless it's like someone that's like, say Us, then yeah, I'm gonna shout that movie out because that movie's pretty good.
Actually, you know what? You are taller, so why don't you sit on this shorter chair?
That's kind of mammonous. Is it because I'm a man?
Kind of.
That's kind of mammonous of you.
Move forward or...
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't mind moving seats.
You sure?
You guys can switch.
It's up to you, really.
Doesn't really matter to me.
I mean, we're already live, so
That's fine.
let's not do it.
So what you can do is you just lower the chair because it'll scoot down a little bit.
And how about if I
That way we can see
angle
her a little bit better.
a little more? Can you see
Wow,
me
because I'm
better now?
fucking short now.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my gosh, for once in my life it's so tall.
So you go headphones first. Make sure your headphones are good. And test.
Test.
You got it? Can you hear?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
All right. So let me go ahead and turn your mic on.
All right. What's their notification?
All right. Your mic should be hot. Just give me a test.
Can you hear me?
Can't
Fine.
hear it
Am I too
yet.
loud?
This girl called me
Can't
a
hear
hottie.
anything yet.
You can't
You-
hear anything?
You should be able to hear you. Okay. Now I
I
can
hear
kind of.
something. I don't know
All
how
right.
much
So
you
what
hear
you want to
me.
do is you want to hold it as close as you can to your face. So bring it. There you go.
There
So
you go.
whenever you talk, just try
It's
to keep
kinda-
it like a
It's kind of
fist.
off and on.
Like a fist from your face is good.
Oh my gosh. Okay, got it. Right there.
Stop doing that. That's not a good sound. Some people are going to be listening to just the audio version, and that is suspect.
Oh. Here. You're welcome.
I gotta keep this on me 24/7.
Yeah.
Got something going on.
So we're about to say a lot of good things, especially the industry.
He's got a lot of great things to talk about in his recent filmmaking experience. But first, how has your week been, Miss Ruth Antunez?
Busy. I actually was in New Orleans at a trade show, and I've just been super busy with other things in life. Basically, I own a chocolate company, and it was a trade show specifically for that chocolate company. I went to New Orleans. I didn't really like it. Like the streets were not what I thought they would be. I guess that's and then I had a person tell me, oh, New Orleans looks so pretty on film. Like they specifically said that to me, like just on Wednesday, because we were talking, and it's like, dude,
So did you?
everything does look prettier on film.
It does look pretty on film.
It looks pretty on film. It actually, I can see why. I can see why it would be a setting to tell a story. I can see why, and I can understand the reason.
Bad idea.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
People are gonna hear that.
Like you hear that smacking, but I can see, like I said, I can see New Orleans and why people like to set their stories there. It's actually a city that has a lot of character, but the one thing that I also hate about when people film in New Orleans, and you don't see a lot of films, and I think its heyday was really the 80s. There's a lot of 80s films filmed in New Orleans, specific city, because it definitely brings a grittiness to it, almost like New York. It's its own character. It's hard to take the idea of New Orleans away from the film. If you're going to shoot in New Orleans, it's because New Orleans is that unnamed character. Just like if you shoot in New York, it's New York. It's an unnamed character. It is what it is, but it looks pretty on film. It's not that pretty. Streets are bad. There's a lot of homeless people out there, which is horrible. Just a lot of poverty, and architecture in some parts of the city is really pretty and really nice, and that's what makes it so a great place to film. But the reality is very different. So
Is there a lot of production going on there like there used to be?
I have have no idea because I wasn't in town long enough to find out, but I can tell you that there probably is, because at the trade show I was at, there was a lot of you guys ever watch that Top Chef show and things like that, and like cooking shows? There's a lot of those.
A couple clips.
Yeah, so a lot of the trade show that I went to, there's a lot of people from that show. Like they had a guy who I know I've seen him on TV before. Pretty sure I don't know if I saw him on Bravo or on whatever channel that cooking, all the cooking things are at. And they had a nice production. Like as soon as you walked in, you could tell that it was like really nice. And I know for a fact that they hired, from the city. Most people are not going to bring in their own professional crew in.
All right.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure there is, like I said, there is a lot of productions going on there. And I think, what is the other show? There's like a show on like CBS or something. It's like NCSI or New Orleans or something like that, or NOLA. So I know for a fact that there is production going on, and I could tell because the other day I happened to be flipping channels, and I saw, and it wasn't just like they just went filmed some B-roll and then left the city. You could tell that they actually had the actors film in the city, because there was some things that I was like, oh my god, I drove by that place.
Okay. Hopefully, I get to go to New Orleans. I've been wanting to go and see some of those neighborhoods and things. I think it does have a lot of character.
Yeah, it's very pretty. Like I said, very pretty on the screen. It's just the reality of it is very different.
All right, Anthony. Man, you came in on fire. I want to hear what's been going on with your productions lately. So you went to Gasparilla. By the way, did you screen anything at Gasparilla?
No, unfortunately not.
You had something at the last one though, right?
That was T-Buff though. You're talking about,
okay.
There was one film that I was in that was at Gasparilla, but unfortunately I was an extra in it, and they cut out. My face was there, but it was just like that side,
half the face,
which is
profile.
just fucking shady of them. I wanted to see my face in the movie, but I'm not that desperate. It's just extras.
He was like, "Hey mom, there's my nose."
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she'll see the movie though. But it was a good movie. Really good movie. Pretty good.
All right. So, what have you been working on? What's the drama?
Oh,
what's the tea?
You guys really want some drama?
Oh, we want some drama.
I feel unprofessional, but
be nice about it. Yeah.
I'm not in Hollywood, so fuck it.
Okay. You can use pseudonyms.
Yeah. Like Bobby.
What
would you like to know first? I mean, I can't just give you anything.
Well, let me give the rundown. So, in the first interview I did with Anthony in episode 9, there was something I asked him about, like an occurrence where there were 2 actors on his production who said that, or I had heard that they said, I don't know them. I kind of heard through the grapevine that they kind of either had walked out on his production or just weren't happy. But they had some complaints, and me and Anthony talked about what exactly I heard. Just kind of stuff about, we didn't think what I heard was, they thought he wasn't professional because of things going wrong, things on set. Me at the time, I was more interested in finding out, was there anything inappropriate? Hold on. Am I going to find something out about Anthony I didn't know before?
Not the Me Too movement.
But no.
Thankfully.
Thankfully. No. But no, it was just more stuff like just things go wrong, and some people, don't like that, and they're not used to it because maybe they
some people just butt heads. I mean, you're working in an industry with a lot of people. Just some people just don't get along. There's some people you just don't get along with for no reason.
But he actually figured out, he figured out, it was a couple of actors he had been working with, and what the issue was, with sometimes actors are a little more experienced, and they come on to a set with a filmmaker who is either younger, up and coming, and maybe they don't have as much patience with things that go wrong as they do because they've been on more expensive productions and things. But the way that some people deal with it versus others is the issue, and these actors had been doing things like giving the other actors directions and commands and things like that, things that they shouldn't really be doing.
Stepping over there.
Yeah, overstepping their bounds.
That's absolutely correct, Ruth.
That's what it's called. I mean,
and
stepping on toes.
Yeah. If you want to direct, I always say, if you want to direct, be a director. If you want to act, be an actor.
Absolutely correct. I like your point there. It's a very good point you make there, Ruth.
Obviously, if you want, later on want to do both, you can. There's a lot of actors who become directors.
Of course.
But there is a way to go about it.
Definitely don't do it on my set. Don't decide to do it on my set, is what I would say. So if you want to do it,
and there's a
go
way,
and do it.
and there's a way for an actor to say, hey, do you mind if I try X, Y, Z?
That's the way to go about it.
You know?
Yeah.
Not, hey, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this because I think this is better, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody wants to hear that what you're doing is horrible.
Well, I'm going to repeat this again because, I know, not everyone's going to have the time to watch episode 9, but I'm glad that TJ here has already expressed, what happened. But the reason why, I've wanted to get with him. Start from stuttering. The reason why I wanted to, discuss this with him on the podcast about that was because there were more than one encounter. And when he mentioned the previous movie, the latest one, I think I know what he was talking about. But it wasn't a walking out thing. Although people have interest, they did had some concerns to the point where they wanted to walk out.
So that happened recently, though, right? Somebody walked out?
No,
Okay.
no, nothing happened with Hell's Gift actually at all.
Okay.
Thank God.
Okay.
That project was 100%.
Look at his smile.
gift.
Everyone loved working with me. I'm extremely positive that everyone enjoyed working with me, and I'm glad that they had a good time. And that probably was my favorite film that I worked on that didn't have a lot of bullshit going on and no bossing actors going on. And locations was, we did have some problems, with locations and all, but in terms of the actors I worked with, in terms of
Just satisfaction overall.
yeah, in terms of the satisfaction overall and working with the actors, it was 100% perfect. There was this one actor who was, a little bit just not showing, he's, making
Not
excuses.
showing that respect, huh? Just that.
Well, because, he had a job interview, and I understand. Job is a job. We all have been there. Been there, done that, understand that. But if I already scheduled that day, you need to let your job interview boss some guy that, hey, I just plan to film that guy. No, who asked you first? Is it me or is it the job interview guy?
Well, in Hollywood, we see it on a bigger, scale. Obviously, you see people having issues with their schedules not meeting up, and what will a director do? They'll drop the person. They'll drop that actor. We'll cast another actor. That's how we got Hugh Jackman for X-Men. That's how we got Viggo Mortensen.
Yes.
Yeah, in Lord of the Rings. So, a production has to continue with whatever actor it can. If you can push things around,
it doesn't matter if you have a job interview. You're
exactly.
scheduled to show up on that set. You show up on that set, and even if it's at 10 a.m., sorry, that's the work. That's the work of an actor's life. Yes.
You know who was famous for dropping people at a drop of a hat? Stanley Kubrick. He was one of these people who he would drop people. Like, oh,
That's
you can't
me.
make it, you're dropped.
I mean,
and he would make actors show up at 5 a.m. to get ready, and then your seat. Unfortunately, because he was infamous for obviously making Tom Cruise walk through the door 100 times. He did 6 of those. So he was infamous for taking his time, doing what he wanted to, making the actors wait, and that's part of your job. Unfortunately, as an actor, most people will tell you actors and especially extras, most of your job consists of waiting,
right,
not of acting.
And Stanley Kubrick did inspire me, but I could be like him. Just watch me. I could be like him. But in all seriousness, yes, it is your job to show up on set. You can't make any excuses. A job is a job, I understand. But who planned it first? Was it the job interview or me? I planned the schedule. If you're confirmed to show up 2 weeks prior, if I give you a 2-week notice, you're supposed to show up. And you told, this actor told me, and he's not experienced. This is his first film. And, he told me he's got a college rehearsal. He's got the, tech week. And if he misses out, he fails the whole semester. That's your ass, not me. I'm sorry. But the film was supposed to wrap up this week. It was supposed to wrap up Wednesday. But unfortunately, with all these excuses he's making, it's pushing the movie a little longer.
Which means the budget is higher, which means...
Well, there's no budget. We shot with no budget.
Oh, you shot with no budget.
But it's starting to become a concern of it, yes.
Oh, of course. 'Cause
we have one last scene.
everybody, I mean, they always say time is money, right?
The last scene that we have is the concert scene, and the more he does this, the more longer it's going to be, and I can't do that.
Is it a main actor?
Yeah, supporting main. Everyone is committed. Everyone says yes, but this one actor, like I had to replace certain scenes because he didn't show up on the previous 2 scenes, and that was the worst fucking experience I've ever had.
I get it, but some
Sorry, man, you want the drama, I'm bringing it.
Some great films have come from that. You know,
I did ask for
there's
You asked for it.
There is some great films that have come from things like that.
A lot of good movies had a lot of problems on set.
No, there's actually I'm talking about like on screen where what is the name? I'm trying to look for the name. I'm trying to remember the name of the film. It's not coming to mind right now. It is a French film. Is it Cleo 8 to 5? I don't think it's Cleo 8 to 5.
See,
I think I just have that in my mind right now.
I've only watched La Vie en... I have never seen La Vie en Rose. That's a French film I've wanted to see.
Yeah,
I've seen a few French films.
There is this one film where the actor, halfway through the film, the actress drops out. He loved what he had filmed. So you know what he did? He grabbed a second actress who looks nothing like. I mean, they look completely like you couldn't even say, well, this is a faraway shot. Maybe we can get away with it. No. Actresses look completely different. He kept what he had, and then he had the other actress kind of come in and finish the film off. It is actually a masterpiece of a film. It is a masterpiece of a film. Basically, what happened was he decided that what he wanted to do was tweak the story a little, and it became a story about this man's reality and this man's imagination, how he saw his wife and what his wife really was. So it was the idea of the Virgin Madonna and the whore. He had this fantasy about who his wife was, and then the reality of. So each actress decided to play. Basically, he filmed it, and the way when they came down to edit it, the way it was filmed, like this was his reality. Like he would go between reality and imagination, and what he thought she was, and what she
Correct.
was.
That sounds
it was actually
very creative.
It is extremely creative film. There is films where they just decided, hey, okay, we're just gonna kill we're just gonna kill the character. Something horrible happened to him off screen, and there's a small explanation, and the story moves on. It's like it's one of those things where depending on how much more you throw at people get more creative and more imaginative with their storytelling.
And these things can happen quite often.
Have you ever had to do something like bring in a completely different actor to play the same role in the same project?
Maybe
in the early days.
I mean, there's reshoots all the time.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fucking reshoots, if that's what you're asking. But in terms of like get the actor, replace them, sometimes that does happen.
Back to the Future, probably the biggest, most known example.
Which one though?
Because the first one, the first Back to the Future. That was
I've watched the first one.
Okay, Marty McFly was not supposed to. Well,
yes, I remember that.
He wasn't supposed to be.
I do remember that.
Eric Schultz was supposed to be the main.
Eric Schultz? Oh my God, I like Eric Schultz.
I think it was him.
He was that one pervert in the Butterfly Effect, wasn't he?
I can't remember. I don't know, but he was. Anyways, he was the one supposed to be Marty McFly. Turning him to be Michael J. Fox.
I remember that guy from like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That's probably one of my all-time favorites. That did inspire me to make more movies too. Like if I want to make a comedy, it would be 80s inspired, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Mostly John Hughes ones. Those are my favorite 80s comedies. Any comedy that's not by John Hughes can eat it. Never mind.
Okay.
I'm joking with no, but outside there's been far more good comedies that's not directed or written by John Hughes. But anything by John Hughes is just fantastic. My most favorite ones would be Breakfast Club. You got Home Alone. Well, no, Home Alone's that's like a 1990 film, so I can't.
But the 90s. I always tell people, it's like people always say, oh, when did the 90s actually start? Most things,
90s.
Any decade. No, they don't start in the 90s. You still have this residue from the culture from the last decade. Most things really started in like
movies
92
shot in 89.
and 90.
That's
in
why.
92 and 93. That's when you really actually start to see those cultural shifts for every decades.
Because the movies were shot in 89 and they're coming out in 90. I understand your point.
Yeah, not even that, but it's just there's just a residue of the pop culture that existed in the prior.
Good, I like that point. Yes.
Disco, you can tell this because like if you think about it, disco
started in 71.
everybody says it, exactly, but everybody thinks it's a 70s thing. It actually started like more 71, 72. That's like,
Yeah.
hip hop, the same thing with hip hop. It's like
Hip hop started like in the late 70s, I believe.
but it doesn't really take, that cultural precedent up top, it's like
Right.
up until the 80s.
Understandable.
And that's why people like sometimes things start sooner, but they don't really hit the mainstream until, a couple years into those decades that we consider them. This is when it started. We say this is when it started, like grunge music. It didn't start until, like, that's a 90s thing. If you actually go back and look at it, it's like 92, something like that, 93, when it first really started to take hold of the nation, basically.
So, yes, there has been a lot of problems on set, where I felt like, fuck it, I'm just going to recast. And before I go to all that, yes, let's go back. We're still on the same subject, I know that. But, yes, a lot of actors that have been more experienced, it is true that people walk in and they expect the film to be shot on Arri Alexa or Red, and when you see a lot of up-and-coming filmmakers who don't have the budget for it, you have to understand and accept that. If you can't accept it, then maybe those films by upcoming directors is not your thing. That's why it's always important to check out their work before you commit to it.
Yeah.
Also, it's important to have the conversation with the actors as well.
Exactly.
Just so that nobody's expecting more than what you can actually do, right?
All right.
If you feel like, do you have like a weeding out process for certain actors? Like, do you prefer working with more experienced actors or newer actors?
I prefer working with newer actors who have a lot of commitment and isn't going to boss people around. But I want to work with actors who I previously worked with in the past, because I feel like those are the people that I'm more good at. I'm more good at working with actors that I've previously worked with. Not
that you've previously worked
actors that have worked with me previously in previous films, because they understand me more and they understand my direction and where I'm coming at. I also want to work with new actors, but that becomes a concern. You have to be very, very careful when you're working with new actors. Like, I want to work with new actors, but you want to know them first before you start to work with them. However, experienced actors, I'm gonna next. That's it. Next, like, I want to work with experienced directors. Look, don't get me wrong. I want to work with experienced actors, but
you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. Yeah, they have, but as long as they come to terms and understand that I'm just an upcoming filmmaker and I don't have the budget to get an Arri Alexa, and I don't like digital, man. I want to shoot on film more than digital.
You do?
Yeah, I'm more of a film guy. I don't really like digital, to be honest.
Okay.
It's optional to filmmakers if they if they think it's more easier, but for me, it's all about the magic. It's all about the realism, and that's film. But a lot of people, they have to understand that a lot of upcoming filmmakers, they don't have a lot of money to afford an Arri Alexa, and most DPs that shoot with an Arri Alexa that you see in those behind the scenes photos on Instagram that gets like 2,000 likes, those people have a lot of money, and those people are going to expect a good amount of pay. And to get an Arri Alexa camera, it's like $90,000 I hear, and that's expensive, really, really expensive, and you can't even afford that shit. Now, another thing is that Tampa is not the strongest place in terms of paid work.
Paperwork?
Paid work.
Oh, paid work. No, of course
Open
not.
your ears up, man.
Like, that's another thing. If you guys are watching this, like, I want you guys to understand that if you're new and you're just an up and coming actor, is that what you want to say? Sorry if I'm getting too close to the mic.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, if you're an up and coming actor, Tampa is not the strongest city in the state of Florida in terms of paid work.
Paid work, right.
We don't get a lot of paying gigs here. And if you think that you're going to get paid gigs in Tampa, you're sadly misinformed.
So how often do you get a response to like a casting notice or post, and then people are asking like, is it paid?
I feel like it annoys me.
Right.
Because
does that happen a lot?
It happens a lot. It happens quite often.
Okay.
I hate when I post all the information I can, non-paid, non-union.
But people don't read.
I don't want to use
honest.
that. I don't want to use the R word, but yeah.
No, and let me tell you, and that is like a good way to get rid of those people who, because look, I always say, if you're not gonna read through the posts that you
Definitely
put,
not going to read the
they're
script.
not gonna read the script. They're gonna show up. They're gonna
Right.
show up to set and be like, so what's my line?
My line is, get the fuck out of my set. That's exactly... No, if I had actors and they don't know their lines... Now, let me tell you this. That's another question that you're probably going to ask me. How do I feel about actors not remembering their lines on set? Personally, it doesn't bother me. As long as it happens a lot. That's why I always advise my actors to bring their scripts to the set in case you don't remember the whole lines. Like, if you don't remember your entire lines from start to finish, the scenes that you're in... It's always important to talk to me and we'll go over it. Because I don't want to be that one filmmaker to get mad and rage over not remembering your lines. That's kind of immature. So
I mean, there's also a beauty to people who can improvise.
yeah, it's always a good thing to improvise too.
yeah.
Exactly, you're absolutely right.
There's always a beauty to that. There's a certain realness.
Improvise-
It's just like you were talking about real film, how you feel like it's almost more real than digital.
Improvisation is always a good key in case you can't remember your lines, but you also have to understand that you gotta at least remember your lines.
Yeah.
At least remember 1 or 2 or 3, because if you're walking in there and you just don't know jack shit about the production, you're wasting the director's time,
That's right.
and it's your responsibility, and it's coming out of your pocket.
You're wasting everybody's time.
Yeah, you're wasting my mojo. Is what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
But another, like, I don't really mind it. However, in the future, if I do make if I survive the apocalypse, that's a 92-page script. I expect half of my actors to remember 50% of their lines. And if they don't remember that on set the day I start shooting, which is in May, and that's a future length, then yes, I'm gonna get a little upset.
Okay.
I expect actors to at least remember 50%, not 100%. If they can manage to remember 100% of their lines,
Word to 'em, huh?
a lot of kudos to them. I'm happy. But not everybody's going to remember their lines.
No.
Not everybody's going to remember their lines, and that's the thing. But you are sadly misinformed if you think that Tampa is going to have a lot of paid gigs.
Now,
And-
I have a question for you talking
Yes.
about the paid gigs and all that stuff. Now, why would you shoot in Tampa, though, if it's, there are not a lot of paid gigs here, but, just playing that devil's advocate role, like, why would anybody shoot to?
That's a good question.
Like, what's
You mean why would anybody look for roles in Tampa? Or
What,
shoot?
why
Yeah,
would you
why-
shoot in Tampa?
Why would you,
Well-
and it's like, why would you want to choose Tampa to shoot? Is there something specific about the city that you like, and that's why you're willing to, that's what you want to say, people, even though I know there's not a lot of paid gigs here, there is something here.
Are you talking from the actor's point of view or the director's?
Both.
Both. Because
Let me-
people live here, though, right?
Can I take a deep breath? Because this is a really good
take a
question.
No,
deep
but why,
breath,
but why
man.
don't you just move away then? If you
He-
want to
he's
make
about
this your
to breathe
career.
fire. Go ahead, take a deep breath.
It's like-
Let your
It's
blood
positive,
pressure.
though. It's not negative, by the way.
Well, no, I just want to know. I'm playing devil's advocate.
This is not going on video, right? This is going this podcast is going to be on audio.
It's video and audio.
But when it goes on YouTube, it's audio.
It's on right now. We're
It's
on
on right
Facebook.
now.
Live.
Wait, so this is not going to be a YouTube?
It'll be YouTube as well.
So it'll be like last time, like straight up audio when it goes on YouTube.
No, it'll have the video this time.
Oh,
because
damn it!
What happened was
Yeah.
the.
I look so cringy on YouTube.
No, you look fine.
I'm joking.
I already checked
I'm
the,
just
feed.
fucking with you, man. Okay. Oh, hold on.
Definitely turn your vibrate. Turn
This
it on
happened
silent.
last time.
Yeah. If you have a phone, turn it on silent.
You know something
That
I
way.
want to, before we go any further, you remember the film that I was talking about with in case anybody is actually listening to this and actually
Yeah.
wants to know what film
I'm
that
on a
is.
podcast,
It is
bro.
actually The Obscure Object of Desire, and I knew I couldn't remember. I don't know why I was thinking Cleo
The
for me.
Obscure Object of Desire is the
Alrighty.
one where the director took two different actresses.
to play the same role.
Who's the director in that again?
It is a Spanish director, mainly based in France, and his name is Luis Buñuel.
You're always
Buñuel.
like quoting these obscure films you've seen every
This is
film.
not an obscure film. This is actually a very great
Look,
film.
I'm gonna make-
I just can't remember the name. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna answer this
Oh, by the way,
question.
did you watch Roma?
Yes, I did.
Oh, we gotta
Roma's
talk
fucking
about-
awesome.
I loved it.
All right.
I know. I know. I know. It's
You
one
haven't
of those,
seen Roma?
No, I've seen it.
I know it's one of those
Good.
films that a lot of people, they're like, oh, it's okay. It is definitely. I want to put it to you this way.
Be fair now.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It is beautiful film. It's actually a really nice story.
Alfonso Cabron.
As you know, my favorite time in history is the 70s. I love anything
you're
in
a
the
period
70s.
buff.
Alfonso Cabron.
I love the 70s.
I love
and
70s, yes.
there's
Alfonso
something-
Cabron crafted the hell out of that film.
There is something beautiful about the 70s and filmed so beautifully, and there's something about the time, what it meant to be the 70s.
It's a slice of life kind of film, right?
It is,
Okay.
but it's more than that. Even though it seems like it is, it's a lot more than that. It's about family. It's about
We'll talk about
childhood
that.
and fairy tales. And
I'm
things
gonna
like that.
answer that question before I make that.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna make that
Yeah,
important
go
call. I'm gonna step out, but before I do that, I'm gonna answer that question
Yeah, go
because
ahead.
now
We're
I'm
getting
losing.
sidetracked.
I'm losing.
You're-
Yeah, I'm being sidetracked. But no, I love.
go.
No, I don't mean to cut you off. No,
No,
I love the discussion of Roma, and I for the record, I thought Roma should have won Best Picture instead of Green Book. I love the
Yeah.
movie.
I
Don't get me
think-
wrong.
I don't think anybody wanted Green Book to win.
I didn't want Green Book to win at all. I wanted A Star Is Born to win. I thought that was a very beautiful film. Remake my ass. Any remake can win Best Picture. Look at The Departed. That was a
Yeah,
remake
that
of
was
a
a remake.
2002 Hong Kong
Did
film.
you see that? I love that.
I actually
film.
just,
Oh.
I
Are
actually,
you serious?
I watched it. No, I watched it for the 90th time.
This is such a good film.
I've
Isn't that
watched it
like
90
such a good
times
film?
since.
Look at me. I'm like, oh my God,
I
love that
watched it
film.
when it came
It's
out
like
on
I'm a
DVD.
schoolgirl.
I remember the movie came out in 2006, but I went to go see Grudge 2 at the time, and it was sold out. I remember all showings for The Departed were fucking sold out. I remember that. And I ran out of The Grudge 2 in the pack audience going, Mommy, no. But I went with my sister at the time, but I should have, but I was like 7. Like, why the fuck would I want to go see The Departed at that age? But I did watch a lot of rated R movies in the theaters, that being said. But because, I like R-rated movies. I like those are R too.
I think the younger you get exposed to
Yeah.
things like that, the more your curiosity is sparked, the younger you are, and
All
the
right.
more open you are to explore foreign film.
I just wish I
films
could have
that
seen that in
just-
theaters though. Even though if I can handle it at the age of 7, if I could have handled it at that time, I was 8 when that came out. No, I was 8.
Look,
I was 8.
Look, you're thinking to the choir.
Yeah.
I think I was like 10 years old when I watched Pulp Fiction. That is not a film for a 10-year-old.
I watched White Chicks when I was 6, and I fucking love it still. But The Departed was such a damn good movie. I fucking love it. That inspired me to make films too, because that is such Martin Scorsese's best film. And I see he has the Aviator poster. That's another good ass movie too.
Yeah, that's
Don't get
one
me
of
wrong.
my favorites, The Aviator.
That's probably one of my favorite Leonardo DiCaprio performances as of today. I still love Romeo and Juliet. I can't talk about it because we're gonna prolong this.
Hey, look,
fucking
we're just sidetracking.
I'm a
into
DiCaprio
what we
fan.
love.
I'm a DiCaprio fanboy. Okay, I love Leo.
Also a DiCaprio fanboy.
If I was a chick, I would be making out with Leo all night long because he is fucking awesome.
Look, okay, I'm a girl. I'm a girl, and I'm gonna tell you something. Not me.
Really?
He is not that good
All right,
looking.
before we get
he
into
is
that-
not handsome in that respect.
Anyways,
How dare
he's
you,
just regular
Ruth?
handsome.
how
He's
dare
not,
you?
He's
Ruth?
not movie
How
star handsome.
double dare you?
He's not
How
movie star
dare
handsome. I am wondering how it's gonna be now that he's gonna go up against Brad Pitt, because Brad Pitt isn't actually handsome. Man.
I think the Oscar for next year will go to Ian McKellen. He has a new movie coming out, so I think that the
Look
fact
at that early Oscar predictions, people. We're gonna bring him back.
I mean, he has a new movie coming out, and I love him in Magneto in the X-Men movies. He was Gandalf. He's a good actor in some movies, and he was in that one movie called "In the Band Played On" about an AIDS virus about that time, and he was just fucking good. But the question you said was, and correct me if I'm wrong, why would you be in Tampa if
you want to further, basically, you want to shoot here. Where would you want to be here?
the thing about it is that Tampa, we want to hope to bring Tampa back. We want to try and make Tampa relevant instead of irrelevant. Tampa may have lost that battle of film, but we can try to bring it back.
I actually think I completely agree with you. I think
And,
Tampa is
yeah.
a beautiful place to shoot. We have a lot of.
We have Curtis
beautiful-
Hickson Waterfront Park. Where's that shit at? We got a fucking
Like whole entire Ybor City is
don't
beautiful.
Armature
Are
Works
you-
exactly.
So are you saying that you are shooting in Tampa because
I want to
love
bring
the city?
the city is great. Downtown Tampa is a pretty good city, and there's some pretty good locations in Tampa.
you don't think it's just because you happen to live in Tampa? That's the reason that you filmed.
Yeah, that is also one of them.
Like that's one of the reasons.
You're in my
but,
fucking mind, dude.
but if you, but because like I said,
But because
like
I don't have a
said,
car, and that's all I can do. That's all I can barely do. Like I can go to St. Pete and shoot in St. Pete too. Don't
St.
get me
Pete's
wrong
also
about it.
beautiful.
St. Pete's Clearwater is fucking beautiful.
All these places are beautiful.
If you can minus the red tide, but
Right now, Miami is the most. Would you guys say that Miami is the most relevant
City in
shooting-
Miami, Orlando,
shooting
and
city?
Jacksonville is the only 3 relevant places
Yeah.
that have paid
film.
gigs only. And if you
Okay.
think if you want paid gigs, just go to Miami and Orlando. I'm
there's
sorry.
a ton of things
Sorry,
there,
guys,
yeah.
but-
Miami
I
would
was-
be like number 1, though, right?
I would
Yeah,
think so.
not to like doubt people.
I know because I know a lot of
But-
models, and they not only do like just photographs, they also do film. And they were telling me, oh, we do a lot of things in Orlando because they live here in Tampa. They do a lot of things in Orlando, and a lot of that stuff is paid.
And so, Tampa needs a shot. It's like film. Film projection is dead. It's already dead.
Projection. Well, shooting on film itself is just about dead.
Film is
about-
never dead.
I don't think it'll ever be dead because there'll always be those like hey,
Film
he's
is-
a hardcore lover of. There is something beautiful
So
about
tell me
something
why
that
you
is-
feel. Why do you prefer shooting on film versus shooting digital?
Film is so
And
beautiful.
right now you are shooting digital for your projects. Is that right?
Because it's all I can do right now. But if I were to shoot my biggest project, if I can have all the money in the world, if I can have all the money in the world to shoot my
Right.
first big project,
Christmas came early and you got all the
digital
presents.
would not be my treatment. It would be film. Film is so beautiful, and there's a lot of filmmakers that are speaking out, and they're still saving film. Like Christopher Nolan still shoots on film. Quentin Tarantino, he's anti-digital. Paul Thomas Anderson, he's a film guy. Martin Scorsese is a film guy, but he's a fucking hypocrite because he also shoots digital too. But he shoots on both, so hey, I give
he's
credit.
a-
I give credit to the legendary Scorsese. Not trying to throw shade at Scorsese. He's a good filmmaker.
Hey.
Shut up.
Every time you do, I'm just gonna point out the Aviator poster.
hey, that's the one that didn't win Best Picture.
Well, something there is something.
That's a sore wound. Okay.
I mean, blame $1 billion Baby.
okay.
That film broke my heart, though. I will admit. But
That was a good film.
yes,
Really
Judd Apatow. I'm surprised that he still shoots film because most of the comedy directors they've switched from film to digital, and Judd Apatow is the only guy out there that still wants to shoot film. And he shoots HBO shows on film too. So there's this one show that premiered in 2018, but it got canceled. Like it's not getting renewed for a second season.
Here's a question, or
Before
basically
you-
just an argument for.
Before you get to that,
Go
I
ahead.
feel like I know what you're gonna ask. What would you guys say is the main reason to shoot film versus digital? Do you feel like it's
Film has a lot of sense of grain to it. It's got a lot of beauty, and it's like the old days.
I get that.
Film is beautiful in every way, and I understand that digital is is easier to load, but
That's expensive.
that we can all agree that that's a little bullshit because both of them are super expensive.
but film is more it's time, it's costly and is expensive as far as time that it takes to develop and stuff like that, and
And
deal
I'm
with it.
willing to
But-
take the risk.
But the thing is, you're going to digitize film anyways.
Exactly. It's going to be shown on digital projection at least. I know it's going to happen.
And isn't it, well, before it's digital, to edit it, you're going to have to digitize it. But
But we
isn't
can
it
at least put it
true?
on 35 millimeter though.
But isn't it true that, with digital, you can just put some grain on there?
No,
You can
that would be
pretty much-
cheating. That would be cheating. And,
He wants it. He wants it. It's like just the way it comes. So then
I want
no
it.
color correcting either.
I want it just
No
like
color
the actual
correcting
film.
either.
Like I prefer. I've done it before, and it just doesn't look that good.
I hear you, but I've seen some digital that looks very close to film that they've put side by side with film,
And it's
they
cheating.
tried to see if you could tell the difference. And
That's
except for
plagiarism.
some really skilled editors who can tell the difference between how the blacks come across sometimes, you really couldn't tell.
I mean, okay,
That's
I'm
still
gonna put it. I'm
plagiarism,
gonna put it
man.
to you this way. It's like the difference between a painting and or the original print, and then a print, and then the actor, and then the artist went back and just basically touched up some things. It's still as nice, but there's something about if you ever go to a museum and you actually see an actual piece of art, it can really be. People say like something's
Exactly.
breathtaking
I agree with you.
because it's irreplaceable.
There's
Where a
something very
print,
special.
you can always it's digital out there. You can just print another one out and have
But
the artist go in and
people
wiggle
are
some more lines on.
Yeah.
And now it's
People are
it's
still going
worth
to shoot digital.
something.
Yeah, people are still going to shoot digital, but there's something very unique about film that just started
It's
everything.
a feeling, I think.
Film
so
is-
much than anything.
Film started everything. Film started the evolution of movies, and if it wasn't for film, we would have never had any movies at all. We wouldn't be sitting here having this discussion. Kill Bill would have never came out. Aviator would have never came out. Ex Machina would have never came out. Like, any movie would have never came out if it wasn't for film. Digital is optional. I'm fine if filmmakers want to shoot digital, but there's something about film that is just so that just can't be forgotten.
Okay.
There's something very unique about film that needs to be
Can
respected.
I play the
and
devil's
admired.
advocate? Because I love playing devil's advocate. Basically,
What's devil's advocate?
It's like when you're taking the counter position from me. Like, I'm totally just and this is not exactly what I believe in, but it's what I'm
Go
preaching
ahead.
basically, and
Go
so
ahead.
that's why I'm a devil's advocate, because I'm preaching what I don't believe.
Okay.
So I get it. I completely like I said, and I'm completely with you. There is something and it's not beautiful. It is magical about film. Something beautiful about. You see it when you see old movies. It's just there's a certain. It's like shooting black and white back in the day as opposed to shooting black and white today. There's just something magical about the way those lights were made, something about the way that film was processed, something about the way things were made, and the chemicals that they use that you just can't get today, no matter how you shoot it. It's lost to us, and that's why we appreciate those things. And there's something
had a long run.
and there's something beautiful, like I said, just like I said about the painting, something beautiful about something that is irreplaceable. If that film was to be lost, that is it. We no longer have that original copy. But of all the directors you mentioned, when you said people who shoot on film,
Still to this
these
day.
are, yes, those directors are, I want to say, the 10 top percent of some of the best directors that we have today.
Steven Spielberg also shoots on
Yeah,
film too.
and like I
Edgar
said,
Wright
yes,
Wes
and
Anderson.
those are all the top 10.
Yeah.
Those are the cream of the crop, the top 10% of directors who are going to get the most money, the most backing. They don't have a budget.
Wonder Woman
They
was
have-
a big
they
film,
basically
and that's
have a
shot
lot
on
of-
film.
Because it's because these people have clout behind them, or they have their own production company, or they have, this is not their first time at the rodeo, as they say.
And-
For a first time director, and if you want somebody who's young to break into the business, they have to do digital. And there's something beautiful about digital.
You got to start with digital in the first film.
It's okay. It's like
Yeah.
it's like this phone. This is a computer in your hands. There is no this is a camera in your hands. You don't have
Right.
to have a huge camera. There is no reason why with this phone you can't shoot a beautiful picture. It doesn't have to be a picture of a sunset, It can be like an actual beautiful picture.
And some people still like taking pictures with film cameras.
Exactly. And there's
So-
people who, but there's something beautiful about this is for the masses. This is everybody gets a turn. With this, there is no reason for you to say I can't. Not everybody has access to film, and it's
Exactly.
getting more and more pricey to get that film. And it's not cost effective, and that's why
And-
most people don't do it. And the only people who do it is people who they know the return, the
willing to
investment.
take risks,
Even though
man.
the
That's all it
investment
is.
is a lot, there's going to be a greater, there's going to be greater profit down the other side. So there's something you might not believe in shooting in digital, but there's something beautiful as well about shooting in digital, that it allows people like you and me to also get our stories out there, because film isn't just about shooting pretty images. It's about telling a story.
That's also what I almost forgot to bring that up. It's about the story. Any story I feel like is beautiful deserves a film treatment. Like, I'm not going to direct a movie that's set in the 50s on digital. Definitely not. Now, my only favorite, the cameras I would use would be Panavision mostly, and Aricam, Ariflex, Anton A. Penelope. That's what they call it?
Penelope?
Yeah, Anton Penelope camera. They shot swingers with that camera.
Right.
I would shoot Ultra Panavision. Like, that's the camera they shot all those classic movies like West Side Story and The Hateful Eight. Like, those cameras, I want to use that one day because I want to know what it's like.
Well, don't you guys feel that because since the things that people can do digitally, the kind of things like taking an actor's face, putting it on a mannequin, or putting it on a completely different actor's face, the kind of things that we can do, we can definitely mimic the look and feel of film. But don't you guys feel like that thing that
it opens?
Well, that thing that you're trying to say that is special about film is more the process that goes into making sure the camera is loaded with the right film, making sure it goes to the right place, and knowing that it's a limited quantity of something that you're shooting on. It's not as easy as digital, to where if you mess up a shot, or let's say you fill up your memory card, you just put another memory card in, or just erase the shot, or some cameras can edit on the camera itself. With film, it's a little bit, I feel like with film, if you know you're shooting on film, you're going to approach it a little bit differently. You're going to rehearse it a little bit better. You're going to put more planning and time into it.
Exactly. There's going to be less of a chance for you to, what did we say? There is, if you're shooting on film, there really is no room for improvisation.
Having said that, I don't know shit about shooting on film. I've never shot on film before.
I've never done it before, but it's something I really want to do in the future. Like, I don't care, like, what the cinematographers think. Like, I want to shoot on film, and film is the beauty of it. And, yes, as I said before, film projection is gone, and it had a really good run. I remember going to the theaters, like you said, to go see those movies that came out in the 2000s, and those film prints take forever to play because, they're trying to roll that fucking film out. And there's some theaters that still have film projection. It's just not really, they're not going to, it's like Blockbuster. There's only one Blockbuster in Oregon.
Left, right?
It's the last one.
Right.
A lot of people think Blockbuster is dead. Wrong.
There's one left out there, you guys.
I was just talking about
There's
that the other
two
day.
left. There's
Is
two.
the other one in Canada still kicking it?
There's one in Australia, I believe.
Two actual stores left, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, every year more news are going to pop in. So there could be like 3 Blockbusters. You never know. It can't just be one Blockbuster. I believe there's more than one Blockbuster, but we will never know until more reports pop in.
I want to say something. You sound. I'm sorry. You remind me of the conversation that we were having about how Steven Spielberg and a lot of directors, not just Steven, but a lot of people were sitting there saying, how they don't think a picture like Roma, which was released and it was released through Netflix. Really, that's where it got its main release, you could say. How that film should be disqualified from even attempting to say that it could possibly be considered for a Best Picture nomination.
What's the argument?
And the argument was that it didn't go into a theater, therefore it shouldn't be considered a viable option for, it's like.
Is that an actual requirement for Academy Awards?
Well, it is. Yes, you have to shoot. You have to have a film in play in a theater, but it doesn't mean.
But it didn't.
It did.
It did play in Tampa Theater. I only saw it in the Tampa Theater.
It did. Most films, you can't go to video if you don't play. It's just that it has a lot to do with the back end, the actual industry, and the releases,
the deal with the distributor,
and things like that,
So
they have a huge thing against.
So
Netflix.
the issue was that they didn't want something like Netflix, being basically able to have Roma be qualified for a Best Picture, and a lot of directors were angry about it. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact, he was saying, it's like the whole entire idea of, there's only one blockbuster. But throughout history, things will come and go. And there's something always about the elitist and the people who are able to, bring something to the popular masses, to like the regular people. And I think that's what it is. I think a lot of times people who are at the top never want the riches to trickle down to the bottom, whether that be financial or artistic or, creatively. I think that's one of the reasons. I think it also has to do with the deal that he's having with Apple specifically for Steven Spielberg. But really, I think people have a problem with it because, now you're not showing it in theaters. Now people are staying home and watching it. It's almost like the long lost art of going to the theater and having popcorn is lost. It's not lost. It's just that people are now enjoying things in their house with more. People are using their home as like that theater space. Unfortunately, because we all do it, you you go home, you pop in a movie, but you also have your phone next to you, and you're watching the movie, but you're looking at your phone. Your notifications come in, a phone call comes in, and you look at it, a text. Oh, let me look at my text, and so you're not paying complete attention to that film because you feel that
Anthony.
it's always that it's always there. So like, oh, I can come back and watch it any other time, and that is something that I think that's one of the reasons why people don't like the idea of Netflix. You know.
Okay, but so in Roma's case, for all films to be qualified to go to the Academy Awards, you have to be playing in movie theaters.
Yeah,
right?
at least one showing.
All right,
Usually, a lot of films do
it
just
did,
the one.
So it did meet that requirement.
Yeah.
Is it because of that requirement that they screened it in
No.
somewhere? Okay.
No,
So they
no.
were going to do it anyway. At
They
least
were
once?
no. I think that the deal, like I said, it has to do a lot with the back end of the business that the stuff that we don't necessarily know or hear about. But I know I've delved into it. I kind of just read articles here and there about how, kind of what it's about. Basically, it's just you have to show in a theater. Otherwise, you'd be considered direct to video, and most people don't like that. In order for you to get a distribution deal, there's just a lot of things that go with it.
I got you. So,
yeah.
so at the Academy Awards, a film that gets nominated for an award, basically is the idea that they want all films to have played in a theater because that's what the original purpose of all filmmaking was, to play it somewhere in a theater.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it? So it's not really a thing against Netflix, right? It's more like that rule has been there in place all along.
No, it's not even it's just because if you think about it, like
Is it an actual rule?
no, it's not a rule.
Really?
No,
Okay.
it's not.
Well, then who was
I
making
don't
us
think it's an
about it?
actual rule. I just think it has to be. It just basically you have to have a film released within a certain amount of time, and.
But who says that? Who
well,
said
there is rules to why things are nominated. What you're able to nominate, what you're not able to nominate. But if you think about it, things like foreign films, a lot of times they don't get shown in the United States, especially not. Basically, who gets to decide is the people who get the screeners first, which would be all industry insiders.
Can you see if there's an actual
Rules?
rule
Let's see.
guidelines for? Yeah, please do.
Let's see. Yeah, but like I said, things like. Let's see, how would you phrase this?
Already, I'm back.
Anthony is back. We were looking to see if there's actual rules and guidelines for, like, does a movie have to play in a theater before it can be nominated for an Academy Award? Because it would seem unfair. But then I understand it like this. So, like, the purpose of all filmmaking to begin with was to have it play in a theater.
Okay.
So it would make sense if that rule has been there for like decades or whatever, but it sounded like you were saying like they just put that rule in place, because of Netflix or anything like that, which would be crazy.
But some of the movies that have been nominated, I have yet to see them in a theater, like Cold War. Like it didn't play in Tampa, and that's stupid.
Yeah, well, that has a lot to do with the fact that we don't have. Most people aren't going to go and try to go look at that film because most people aren't. Most Americans, we don't really care for foreign films. We don't care for black and white.
I care.
A lot of Americans do.
You do, and I do. I know I do. I love something. I think if you go down my top 10 list of favorite films, there's like 3 or 4 foreign films on it.
Yeah.
But that's not for everybody. Most people, like The Departed. Most people have no idea that was actually a foreign film before it became The Departed, and it was,
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't. And they would never watch it. Even if you go, oh, hey, that was actually a foreign film. It came from this. People would never watch it. People know about the Magnificent Seven, but they don't know about the Seven Samurai. It's like.
I didn't know about it until I've heard like it was a masterpiece or whatever.
It is.
I just heard it was a masterpiece.
It is beautiful.
Very good film.
Beautiful, and
also.
Yeah.
Stay tuned because after all this, TJ and I are gonna go back to. Well, we had the drama.
Well, I wanted to get to that before we got to this short film.
Let's get it out of the way,
Somebody
man.
sent me this movie.
Somebody sent you this?
Why don't we get that out of the way?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. So this is I forgot who sent this, but this is called Alternative Math. It's a short film shot in 2017. It has 5,800,000 views.
Okay,
so
let's see.
Perhaps it's worthy of our time.
Maybe it is.
All right. So I guess we're just
All right,
gonna
let's watch it.
We're gonna watch it and just comment on it.
Looks like you're having some trouble with addition. Now don't be upset. You're here to learn. And we learn from mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes.
Nuh-uh.
Look at this question here. What is 2 plus 2? See, you wrote 22. But when we do addition, we don't just put the numbers next to each other.
That's stupid.
All right, I think about it this way. If I have 2 markers in this hand, and then I add the 2 markers from this hand, how many markers do I have now?
22.
No, Danny, it's 4.
Mrs. Wells, we're Danny's parents.
Oh, yes, hello. Oh, please come in. Now, don't worry. It is completely normal for kids to get frustrated when they're struggling with a subject.
So what's this about Danny getting some answers wrong on this so-called test of yours?
So-called
We had
test.
a test. One of the questions was, what is 2 plus 2? Danny answered 22.
What a dumbass.
Damn, Anthony.
And that's not the right answer,
Says who?
says math.
Are you calling my son stupid?
No, of course not.
Who are you to say that your answer is right and that his is wrong?
No. She's right.
Thank you.
Right out of Nazi Germany.
You can't honestly tell me that you don't know what 2 plus 2 equals.
You got it all figured out, don't you? You smart-ass little tramp. What are you, some kind of retard?
All right. I'm sorry. I am not going to be able to continue this conversation.
We're gonna complain to the principal about you.
Danny is a free thinker.
I'll have your job, bitch.
Not if you can't add 2 and 2 together, you won't.
Oh, wow. Why'd they do that? It's a little bit much, huh?
This is your woman alone.
Oh, sorry, Principal. I didn't see you.
I understand you had an issue yesterday with the parents of one of our students.
It did get a little crazy.
When things get out of hand, I really need you to let me know about it.
Sure. So how do you want to handle it?
I guess you could apologize.
What? His mom hit me.
I understand you told Danny he had a wrong answer on his test.
He did have a wrong answer on his test.
Yeah, it's not our job to tell students when they're right and wrong.
That is exactly what our job is.
Parents don't want you ramming your biased views down their kids' throats.
That's not biased. That's how math works.
You know what doesn't work? Your attitude. Look, maybe I can explain this in math terms so you can understand. If you took all the kids in this classroom and divided them by 0, that's exactly the amount of respect you're giving them.
A lot of respect.
Something you'd like to say?
You can't divide a number by 0 and get 0.
So now I'm stupid. Just some crazy administrator doing paperwork while you superstar teachers change the world.
That's right.
Teachers divide, students count. Teachers divide, students count. Teachers divide.
Students count, teachers divide.
You're going to apologize to the parents. Why didn't you even start teaching if you hate children?
This is feeling political.
I feel sorry for the old woman.
The Nuremberg trials up here.
I do
Have a
like
seat,
this.
Mrs. Wells.
Thank you. You know, I honestly think this will all blow over if we just wait a week or so.
I'm afraid we can't do that.
Why not?
They're suing.
For what?
Emotional distress to a minor. Mrs. Wells, can you please tell the members of this board exactly when you became aware of this fiasco and the events leading up to the riot?
Riot? I just told a student that 2 plus 2 equals 4.
We need for you to recant that.
What?
Just say that you're open to the possibility there might be multiple correct answers.
But that's not true. We can't let them bully us. This is so stupid.
Stupid. That's your problem. Anyone who disagrees with you is stupid.
There is nothing to disagree with. There is only one correct answer.
For your sake, I certainly hope you have that correct answer when the media gets wind of this.
I do. It's 4.
I have my own answer. This school minus you equals tomorrow.
You're firing me?
Suspending. While you reconsider your extremist views.
You brought this on yourself.
Breaking news.
In what's being called Mathgate, an activist elementary school teacher was caught abusing her students' First Amendment rights.
It's an interesting story. Okay, so
Those lower thirds do look
liberal
legit,
elite
though.
tells this innocent little first grade kid that his answer is wrong. Only her answer is acceptable.
Yeah, from what I hear, she doesn't even keep these students for more than a year. After that, they all leave her and go to another teacher.
It's called graduating.
So it's creating some good, healthy debate in this country. Some experts say that 2 + 2 equals 4. Others say that it's 22.
No, they don't.
Look, if you hate America that much, why don't you just go teach in commie France?
Oh my
Hello.
Hello, Mrs. Wells.
This is looking really expensive.
Decided that for everyone's benefit, your services will no longer be required.
For everyone's benefit? How about the kids?
I need you to come by the school tomorrow. We don't need you radicalizing our students anymore.
Mrs. Wells, thank you so much for coming. You know, I'm just so sorry it happened this way. If only you'd been willing to be more open-minded.
About math? What about academic integrity?
You were warned, given an explanation, and yet you persisted. But we will, of course, fulfill our financial obligations. Now, that's $2,000 for your last pay period and $2,000 for this one, so that's $4,000.
Wrong. It's 22,000.
Pay me, bitch.
I want to punch the fuck out of those people in real life. This is pretty good.
That's really good.
So what do you guys think?
It's really good. It's actually really good. I think the production value was really good. I love the colors in it. There's something beautiful about those pastel-y colors. It just screams to me. I don't know. It just like it's bright, but it's not super bright. So you know it's friendly, but it's a darker take on friendly.
This goes more political.
Well, yeah, it's obviously like the Republicans who don't believe in math, that kind of thing. Wouldn't be surprised to find out as the film director believes in climate change.
You talking to me?
No, I'm talking about I'm talking to you in
Film.
general.
Yeah.
Both.
I believe in climate change, man. What's wrong with that?
I actually have a
alternative view.
It's not so much that I think
Please
what ends
tell
up
me it's not a
happening.
hoax.
I think it's what's happening here. And really honest, if we're gonna bring in Republicans and climate change and just get political about it, let's just go ahead. Let's go ahead and get dirty about it.
I don't know if I want to get political about this.
No. But I think it has a lot to do with you come to a certain point and you don't want to back down. And both of them, because like. I mean, as a man, if you ever hear people arguing, it always gets, and it seems like it always gets to a point where people are calling each other Nazis and Hitler, and it seems nowadays that it's like 3 words in and you're already calling each other Nazis and Hitlers. After that, nobody can listen to each other because nobody would ever make friends with the enemy, basically, and who is a bigger enemy than Hitler, I guess is what they're saying. So I think it's, it's the whole entire mood of it it's not so much that
Who's a bigger enemy
people-
than Hitler? Who's a bigger enemy than Hitler, Anthony? Trump. You might be right.
But even then, I mean, if you start calling Trump Hitler, then people no longer can talk to, like, you don't want to talk to him. You don't want to hear what he has to say. And when we do that to each other, that's where the whole entire breakdown of communication just stops. And we become so staunch in our views that we can't reach across the aisle. And I think that's what's going on in this country nowadays. People are just so, this is what I believe in. This is right. And let me tell you something. Nobody is completely right and nobody's completely wrong. You know, we're all just trying to figure it out.
2 + 2 argument, but
well, no, but they're just saying that, you know, in some things they're so ridiculous. Like, you know, there's certain ideas that people believe in, and you're like, that's so ridiculous. But the real issue is, why do these people feel that they are right? Why do they believe in this? That's really the issue of it. It's like when people, I know people have been talking about this flat Earth thing. If you or people,
whoa, we're gonna
or people who, or people exactly, we don't want the flat Earth people to come and to come at us, or people who don't believe that we landed on the moon. And no matter what you do, no matter how you explain it to them, they just won't believe. Yeah. And let me tell you, and I'm gonna tell you what it really is.
Let's stop. You said flat Earth. I don't want to spend any.
No, we're not spending any time on flat Earth.
Whether or not the Earth is flat.
I think it's ridiculous, to be honest with you, that anybody would sit there and, you know, and just even.
I just want those people to just come out and just be like, yeah,
it's
I
a
just
hoax.
Do it for fun. I just do it for fun.
Because I think that's what it is.
It's just for fun.
It's just for fun. But I think, you know, I think it's even.
Did you guys hear that?
I think it was just us moving around.
Okay, it's probably.
And I also think that people who sit there and, you know, like JF Kennedy was killed by the government, 9/11 was an inside job. The moon landing wasn't true. And I think the moon landing is one that I think when you see it, you're like, there's no way that Hollywood could have pulled it off. Because we're just, I mean, the sheer, I always tell people.
So let's get back to the.
No, well, yeah, what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, the sheer amount of people that would have to sit there and collude and collaborate. It's ridiculous. It's like just, 2 people can't keep a secret from each other most of the time.
Well, in the words of Lenny Jones. In the words of Lenny Jones, logic is not the point.
And that's what this thing is.
You're
and apparently that's what it is.
But you're not entitled to your facts.
I like that. I like that. As much as I like your haircut.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I loved it.
The haircut, the little facial style you have here.
Really?
No, I preferred the one with the whole gold teeth stuff.
Come on now.
I prefer that.
Come on now.
Kind of look like Satan.
Yeah,
so what do you think about this film, Anthony? How do you feel that it looked overall? How was the film overall to you?
I think it has a very stupendous message.
Stupendous, you mean?
Stupendous message.
Okay.
It's got a stupid message, but it's so funny and good.
Yeah.
It gives you like the opposite. Like, this is barely. I know this is not true. You know they can't do that shit to you because 2 + 2 is 22.
You'd be surprised when people think
I like the originality of it.
They can. There's a lot of stories that are not exactly this, but very, very close to. This is essentially what the story is about.
It gives you how like today's society is.
Yeah, that's what it's talking about. It's like society that we live in.
It's like you're not
this.
entitled to your own opinion.
Yeah, but think about
this.
this.
No, you're entitled to your opinion as long as it is. It just might be wrong.
But think about this. Why is it...
You can't have an opinion. That's what they're saying.
Well, why is it that people disagree on things like math and science and things like that? It's because it isn't just the culture of today. I think science has always been at odds with like religion, with like, you know, quack doctory, with like quack science and all that stuff. So, I mean, this is like an age-old thing where people who have just beliefs that they picked up from their parents or whatever are basically going to battle with people who go to college and you actually know climate science and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I completely and utterly agree with you on that.
But back to the way this film. What do you guys think? So, if you had to rate it 1 to 10, what's your rating?
It just really depends on.
Let's say.
What are we rating it on? I mean,
let's say that.
What is the scale?
Let's say the scale is a 10 is like the best in the world. Like I mean, Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg.
You can't do that because it's a short film. I mean, you have to do it to other short films.
We're talking about craft more.
More about
You know what I
craft,
mean?
okay.
Yeah, because lighting is a principle that you can look at in a short film or a feature. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
So, what do you guys think about just what it is, it being what it is
I think it's
for a short film?
for a short film. I really liked it. I liked how they talk about I specifically like how there's callbacks to certain things that they said, and then they go ahead and they bring it, especially with the people sitting at the desk. She goes in to talk to the principal and the mayor. That's like the Nuremberg trials. They called her Nazi. It's like there is a lot of layers to it. That those scenes, it's like the lone person walking into. That is basically Mr. Smith goes to Washington right there. That walking down that long aisle. So it just really depends on how much you know. And then I love the lighting actually here, where it's like the two lights.
I love the lighting all the way through.
Yeah, I love
actually more the darker.
Specifically in this scene right here that we're just. I love that she's getting lit from both sides because you feel that those. It's almost like the eyes is that shadow. It's because they're piercing into her and they're creating these two shadows behind her. I think that's really nice. It's the silliest things that I look at, but I like that it gives you that. You're underneath these hot lights and you're being forced to say or believe something that you truly deep down in your heart do not believe, and it's emotionally it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Anybody else?
Overall, it's okay. It's all right. I'll go 7. I'll go 8.
Yeah, I think it's an 8. For me, I think it's an 8 because I think it's for what it is for a short film. I think it's like I said, craftsmanship is great, acting is good. I like the lighting, like just like you. I think the concept is very funny, and it goes from the progression is like it starts out this way and then it blows up, and then it has that resolution, which I think is really clever.
Just reached an 8.5 with me. The more I consider all the things that are pretty well done, the lighting, the pacing, all of the elements here.
It's
are pretty
comedic.
well
It's
done.
comedic, and its undertone is like comedic, but it also has like a little bit of darkness to it. But I love the way it's the film, the pinks and the blues. I love that color scheme, especially. I actually love that color scheme more than anything in pictures as opposed to film.
Do any of your films look like this? Why is it so vibrant? You, Anthony, or Ruth
Color.
doesn't have any films right now.
Exactly. Probably color grading, I would say.
I love the color grading. It looks so good.
It's funny.
I'll say this. I like the news sequences there.
Something that local films sometimes have a hard time trying to convert.
How much do you think they spent on this? Because it
Um,
looks pretty expensive.
Is that Nicolas Cage's sister? Because they do look alike quite a bit.
I don't know. Is that
No,
what
he
you're
doesn't have a
pointing out
sister.
before?
I know.
There's no sister.
They look like though.
Oh.
It looks like.
But you never know. She could be a Coppola. They're everywhere. They basically they are big. They are bigger than you think they are. That family. It's huge, and they actually have a lot of power in Hollywood. Believe it or not. It's just that most of the time we don't realize who they are.
Right.
I can believe
Like
it.
almost like they always say, like you're always in Hollywood. You're always a stone throws away from a Coppola. So, they're bigger than you think. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. They're like a company like Hallmark, bigger than you really think.
Okay, so now back to the good stuff. Let's go ahead and get the rest of, the experience.
How much we have left? Like an hour?
We've got. I'm here till for a while. Ruth is not required to stay or anything, but we're 8:30. We're scheduled to go till 9.
Yeah.
But let's do till 9 because I know I got it.
You got things to do after that.
Well, I want to watch Robot Chicken at 10. That's why.
It's like I can't miss Robot Chicken, you guys.
All right. So what's been going
my
on
daily
in your
ritual.
lately, your life, your filmmaking life lately? What happened with this incident?
The phone call you heard?
Yeah, the phone call. You
Oh my
walked in.
God, he's asking
Phone
for
gate.
it.
I wish I recorded it.
He's asking for drama.
I wish I recorded it. Well, no. The thing is, I have the same feelings as you about a lot of the things that you said. Like,
Right.
I don't like when actors overstep the bounds that they've agreed to work within. I also don't like when people who make schedules with you change that up at the last minute. And, I hate when they tell me why, because all I'm going to do is say, well, I already scheduled this with you. I know, but I had this come up. Well,
mean, I understand the person's sick in bed.
Me personally, I always ask people, not only when they're available, but is there any possibility that, you may have something that comes up that you may have to cancel? And if anyone says yes, I don't plan that day with them, because I basically expect anyone that I work with, if I if I block out that time on my schedule, you need to block that out too. If anything comes up, you're busy. You don't blow me off. You're busy, and or
at least give you the courtesy of telling you in advance, hey, I got sick, I can't make it. My mom's in the hospital, I gotta go see her.
No, that's completely different. That's legit. Like, so if you
that's
get
a legit excuse, yeah.
If you get sick, or
but even then, I mean, we all carry our. Let me tell you something. We all sleep with this thing. You can't send a text to somebody and tell them, hey, instead of having the person sit there and wait for you.
If it's a no call, no show, and you could have done that, it's just I'm never working with them again.
Well, here's what.
Yeah. So tell us what's going on with you.
So I've had a few people flaking out because of stupid reasons, like it's non-paid and all that stuff. Like non-paid, excuses. Like, what the fuck do you expect?
People who didn't agree to do it non-paid in the first place, or
people that understood it was non-paid, and then a month or weeks later they decided to tell me they can't do it because they got higher paying gigs going on
somewhere.
Yeah, and that's kind of shady as fuck, because I mean, doesn't it bother you to check in with the if some other filmmaker offers you a paid gig? Doesn't it hurt to let them know that you have a film coming up in the summer?
I mean, you're asking the wrong person. I am the kind of...
I'm not... I know, but I'm just,
I know what you mean, but I am the kind of... Look, I worked... Like I said, my job, I have a job. I own a company.
I have a job, too.
It's like...
I don't. I'm working on one right now.
Like I said, I own a company. I work in the event industry.
That's awesome.
If things don't show up on time, whether it's my fault or not, I still got to give the money back, basically.
Yeah.
So things have to be shipped on time. They have to get there on time. And let me tell you something, UPS probably hates me.
You work at UPS?
No, I don't work at UPS. I ship through UPS, and they probably hate me because if it looks like something's like, I will call them. I'll be like, can you find my package? Could you tell me what's going on with my package? And if UPS says, we have no idea what's going on with your package, let me tell you something. I am on the production line making sure that I can have something to overnight to the person. Because I can't just say to the person, well, you can just push your event for tomorrow. No, this event is like, you're expecting what I am shipping to you to be there for your event.
Right.
And I will do whatever basically it needs to be done, as much as I need to be done to get something to you.
Correct.
And like I said, you're talking to the wrong person. That's how I live my life, basically. I stayed up till 3-4 in the morning making sure things get done.
He's talking to the right person. That means you understand that when an actor...
When you say you're going to be there, you're going to be there. It doesn't matter.
Well, when an actor should understand...
I like the attitude you have. I love the attitude.
When you say you're going to be there, you're going to be there. And if you're not there, it fucks it up for everyone else.
Exactly.
It's like, you once told me this, and I was supposed to be in good friends, but unfortunately, I had filming going on, and I wanted to be part of his production, and I had
didn't happen.
He was that guy. He was that guy.
At one time or
once.
But I made an apology.
He did.
And I'm not someone that...
It was heartfelt.
It was very... Well, he actually gave me a really... But I will work with him in the future.
Yeah.
I want to know what's his next project, because, right now you're still currently editing Good Friends.
You talking about me?
Yeah. I'm talking to you. Who I'm talking to? That guy up there?
Well, you're saying... it's just when you were talking to him, I was like, wait, what is he
what's your next project?
Oh, well, actually, we just started Headstones. Headstone is going to be Tampa Film Network's next... short.
Am I in it?
No, you're not.
Do you want to be in it?
You're not in it, but that's the thing that I'm going to be producing that one. So we're still finishing up Good Friends, the editing part of that.
And I'll be in your next project.
Yeah, you can be in the next project. So here's who's in Headstone. Sharon Pack Withers is in Headstone.
She's directing it?
No, she's in it. She's an actress.
No. If she was directing, it'd be cool.
Well, she's
Sharon's a sweetheart.
She's great. So basically, it's a really short 2-page film. That's kind of what Tampa Film Network is trying to do right now, while we got the other stuff finishing up. But she's in it because she comes to class the most. She was there to be in it. So the next thing that we do, it'll probably be Chevy, because she's like the second most active person in the class. And then you should probably be the next. You got to come to class to be in that stuff, because
that's a great.
Hey man,
that is like a
I'm
great.
not criticizing you. I'm just telling you that's why.
That is actually a great, just a great little story for you to tell, like a little great anecdote. Like, you have to show up in order to get the next job.
You ever hear the expression, you must be present to win? Or you must be present to participate?
But it's true. And then sometimes, when you're starting off as an actor,
that's not true.
I can't remember, for the life of me, I cannot remember. There's a comedian. And one time he was telling a story, it was just like a regular story. It was just on a podcast telling a story, and they were talking about, how he got into the business. And basically, the short story is basically he was an extra. He got he worked with one of the people there. One of the people took him to a bigger production and to another bigger production. And it wasn't like he was doing things like acting. He was actually doing things like, go get me the coffee, go get me this and that. And eventually his friend got to a point where he could tell he could basically bring him to all his shoots, and he would get more and more acquainted to people. And that's how he started his career. Basically, that's his career took off. He, somebody just gave him an opportunity. He drove an actor, a pretty big actor, to the airport, and then drove him back. And next thing he knows, the actor gives him, he's like, call this guy. He'll hook you up with this, and that's how he got his first big break.
For sure, don't do that forever, because some people will have you doing coffee forever.
Well, of course.
Sometimes, at some point, you gotta say, look, hey, this was cool to start, but I'm ready to
do other
try
things. Exactly.
Else. I've had one or two experiences where it had to do with like being paid for the level of skill you're at. So it's like, oh, this was cool to start, but now I'm looking to have a little bigger percentage, because you guys are depending on me. So that should be cool.
Either pay up or shut up, basically.
That should be cool, or I can just go and just do my own stuff elsewhere. I ended up going elsewhere.
There comes a point where you're not getting as much of that relationship, so you just gotta be like, call it quits.
It takes a little time to figure out what you're worth, but once you know, it's up to you to start making moves. You can't just know. You gotta start taking chances and doing stuff. So did you work with that same person that you were saying was bossing people around before you gave him another chance? Is that what happened?
The one in Chosen Woman?
Yeah. Are we talking about Chosen Women? Is this the one where all the drama's at?
No.
We're not talking about Chosen Women?
No, this has something to do with Survival the Apocalypse.
All right.
Yes.
So the person who was in the drama today, they're not the people who we were talking about before.
Oh, no, I was just explaining to him what happened. This was happening recently, but it was just something getting butthurt over one thing.
Okay, so this project, for people who don't know,
it was about the Chosen Woman, and she felt left out. But that's what happens when you talk shit.
Thick skin, man. You gotta have thick skin in this industry.
I hate when people get so mad. It's like they start to threaten you with, hey, if you don't give me, like, if I didn't sign the contract, and which you did, I hate when people say that, I don't want you to play in theaters without my permission. I'm like, fuck your permission. I put a lot of money into that film. Yeah. But that's the thing I hate when I first heard about that.
Some people will try to pull that card on you.
Yeah, I hate when people pull that card as an excuse. Like they love attention.
I don't care if you signed a contract or not. If we made it, if I spent the time and effort to make it, it's playing.
Same me.
Cut them out.
I spent $40.
That's what we agreed to.
Cut them out.
I spent $40 submitting Chosen Woman to the SSSF. I'm not gonna fuck it up for nothing. And I got nominated.
Hold on. Let's okay, can you tell us again how much you spent?
I didn't spend anything on the movie. I'm just saying that I spent $40 submitting the film to the festival.
$40. See, for a guy who does, you said you didn't have a job. That is a fortune for a person who doesn't have a job.
Found his way to make it. So
I spent.
It's like it just really depends on the degree.
I spent about $300 on Visions of Love because I worked as an actor at an acting gig down at Lowry Park Zoo, and I made about a total of $700. So no. I made a total of $900 actually, and so I used half of that money for Visions of Love, and because I took a lot of responsibility, and because I saved up some money too, from the Halloween one. This was all for the Christmas one, but I saved some money from the Halloween as well, at least about $700-800. I did fucked up when I wasted on the clubbing because I had a bad friend that he took advantage of me. Thank God I don't talk to him anymore. So fuck that motherfucker.
Bad friends in low places.
Bad friends. That's why they call it good friends.
Good friends, correct.
Not shit friends. Anyways, this was he just talked. My boy Adam and I were having a conversation just about that, but I fired about 6 to 7 people from Smile the Apocalypse
for this film.
Yeah.
How far are you done with it percentage wise? Would you say?
I haven't started filming yet. That's the thing.
Oh, okay. So
you're in pre-production basically, and you're already getting all these.
This is
running into
people,
things.
finding the right people is what you're doing right now.
I want people that is open to non-paid, can volunteer for free, help out, have fun. Don't give me any financial reasons to back out. Just saying. Have reliable transportation and have a car of your own.
You're asking a lot.
What I'm saying is that you have to have transportation because not everybody's going to give you transportation.
Yeah, that's fine.
I had to fire 3 because of that.
Because of transportation?
No, because of the fact that
they just couldn't show up.
They told me that they're gonna look for a job and they can't find anything. Like, if you feel like you don't want to do it, don't do this for the film. Just do it because help out your friend.
So people who are basically
you're a person
saying,
of your word, and you said you were gonna do it.
So people are basically
That's hard to
saying,
find.
I'm interested. However, I'm in the middle of looking for a job right now, so if it happens to come up, I may have to cancel. Those are the kind of people you're firing
Sometimes
right now?
I've gotten quite often that.
Okay.
But some people have offered to help, but scheduling and all, and they're gonna be busy. I'm talking about the people who flaked out because of schedule and all. I'm like,
people who have already agreed.
Yeah.
To something,
that's the thing. That's the thing. We were supposed to have a group of 4 makeup artists, and I fired 2. One just now because because she was supposed to respond back to me within 12 hours, and it's now.
Show.
Let's see, that's 12 hours. That was 4 o'clock, 12 hours. So right now it is 8:42.
It is 8:42.
About if 24 hours pass, you're fired. You're out. I hate, this is the thing I hate, and this is what you also tell me, and I also learned this from you. I don't like when people say that they're interested, and we give them that role, and then you suddenly lost that interest because of excuses, etc. And you told me this one thing. It can mess up a commitment. It can always mess up a commitment, and it can. I'm not saying that it's gonna ruin your chance next time. Thank God it didn't ruin. At least I have an opportunity with you again, because I've been straightforward with you about it, extremely straightforward, 100% with you. Some people have not been 100% with me. Some have been pretty sincere and very nice, and they said thank you for the opportunity, and that's nice. That I can excuse that because hell, you want to get paid, that's fine, but I just wish you would have turned it down. Because if you knew that was gonna happen, you knew that was gonna happen. Yeah. There was no excuses. you knew you're gonna quit because you don't want to do a non-paid film. Just admit it. It's not a shame. It doesn't shame. It doesn't. It's not. It'll make you a better person if you tell the truth instead of lying in the industry. And that's another thing I don't like about in this industry. You lie in the industry, that's also burning bridges. Am I right?
Dude, what are you talking about? Acting is lying. You're basically.
I'm talking about in terms of flaking.
Yeah, scheduling. So let me ask you this.
No, but I'm saying if you're in an industry where your job is basically to lie on screen, what do you expect from them in real life?
You're trying to say you should be expecting actors to
exactly
lie.
To lie.
That, but,
that's part of their craft.
What I'm saying is that
I always try to.
I'm saying is that if you're gonna flake out, be honest and straightforward. Because honesty is important, and it shows that you're a better person in life.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are gonna fucking lie in the industry, obviously. But I'm just saying, for some people, that just because you see other people do it doesn't mean you should do it.
But look, one of the things that they tell you, though, is you go into a casting.
Right.
Can you ride a horse? Of course I can ride a horse.
But you can't ride a horse.
You can't ride a horse. You go home and you find a way to ride a horse.
Mila Kunis was 14, and she lied about her age to be in that 70s show. But I gotta admit, Mila, that's what started her career. If it wasn't for Mila Kunis, she would have never been.
But that's the thing. That's a selfish decision that people make when they
If you're hungry enough, I think you
when they
do stuff like
knowingly
that.
take an opportunity that they know that you're either going to flake out on or
And that's selfish,
they can't
yes.
do. It's selfish, and what happens when you don't show up is not only do you ruin it for the director, producer, whoever you're scheduled with, but everyone else who's supposed to show up on that day, who's depending on you because you're in an important role. Now their time is wasted.
Right.
And that hurts the director way more than you not being there. It's just the other people knowing and feeling like the director is picking wrong people. Why should I work with this director who picks people who don't show up? It reflects badly on people who try to schedule stuff.
And that's why some people are, if I keep doing that in the future, people are not going to want to work with me because they know that I'm weak. They'll think I'm weak.
Yeah, they'll think you don't know how to pick the right people.
So I want to be very careful next time. And thank God I'm a little careful, but I want to be very, very careful, like legit careful.
Yeah.
I want to be very I don't want to be too selective because that can lead to errors in life. That can lead to problems during the making of a film. You want to cast the people who did the audition perfect and they met your expectations. Don't go selecting a girl or a guy because you think they're handsome or their looks or whatever, because then that can lead to problems in filmmaking, and that's kind of a.
There is directors that definitely go for a certain type of actor because like this is the look I want, but that is very specific to a director saying I don't like her just because I think I'm going to sleep with her or I'm going to sleep where it's going to be my boy toy. That's
something
that's
really
very
can't
different. But there is directors who specifically say I have a certain look in mind. I want a certain person, and they're willing to sit there and basically teach these people how to do exactly. There's a very big difference. I think you have to definitely.
That's something I don't really like. If an actress were to ask me, "Hey, I'll sleep with you if you cast me in a role," the answer is going to be no. Let me just admit that the answer is going to be no.
Never any sex that you're going to trade for a role.
No, sex is never the solution to filmmaking. That's exactly.
That's what they all say until they get money, and then they're like, I can do whatever the hell I want to do.
That's how you get into the Me Too movement. So no, I'm not going to risk it. I'm just looking out for my own safety, and I care about filmmaking. I'm not here to make films for the sex. I'm here to make films for the art and creativity.
There you go, a true artist.
Not to mention politics and fucking awards. If I ever get selected in an Academy Award, I'm not going to say, fuck the president. No, I'm just going to talk about what I love about the film and what made me gotten this far. Thank my family, thank the film, thank the studio, et cetera, et cetera.
If you're a director, you definitely have a certain stamp that you're putting on your film. Whatever your film is saying is probably, directly, a stand on whatever it is that you're talking. Your story has to do something with we live in a society. We are not no man is an island, and whatever it is that you're putting out there is eventually a part of you. Whether it's political or emotional,
you're gonna
it is your idea.
That are going to have political messages.
Regardless whether you want to or not, you don't have to necessarily sit there and verbally talk about it. You can show it, and that's what people do. That's what films are,
Yeah, and I don't appreciate, crew members as well. This also applies to crew looking for reasons to back out.
What would that sound like?
Oh, I have something personal going on in my life, whatever, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not
saying that up front, like I am interested. However, I am going through some things.
It can.
I'm depressed.
That's a little iffy, right there. But I'm just saying, if I want you to do.
I am working on a couple other projects, so I just want to make sure my schedule line up.
Say I want to cast you as an ice cream man. I can't see you as an ice cream man.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
I just don't see you as an ice cream man.
Look,
he can be an ice cream if he wants to.
I can ride around those creepy looking trucks just like
I can see you as a clown, but that's about it.
Ooh, burn.
No, he's mostly Childish Gambino.
His cousin.
Okay.
Yeah, his cousin.
There you go.
But talking about you have situations going on is not an excuse to in terms of filmmaking. You go to a job if you have a job and you say that to your manager, hey, I can't come to work today because
my girlfriend broke up with me, or because
that and also
when you're trying to get a job, if you're trying to get a job, one thing you don't do is start talking about the issues that they're gonna have to deal with if they hire you.
You're gonna be like, why would I take him? Pass him over the other guy.
Say you're my boss. Hey, CJ, I'm not gonna come to work tonight because there are some things currently going on in my personal world. I'll still clean up your toilets, but
Okay,
Not
Bob.
today.
Okay, Bob. Bob, I'm promoting you to customer. All right?
and I'm firing you.
You don't even have to come in when I schedule it. You just come in when you want. You're a customer now.
So that
There
means,
you
like,
go.
I'm just saying, like, you pull
That's
that shit.
Alexa.
You pull that shit at work, you're gonna get fired.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as fire. I like say that I want you to play the ice cream truck, but but then you have one scene, right? And then we're also looking for audio, and I would love for you to be audio. And
Not doing it on a feature film. Too long, too much of a commitment. But
say that you said yes, right?
I can probably do
Say.
a limited amount. I will consider a limited amount, but what I'm saying is I don't engage in feature films at all right
Understandable. But say for example you did,
now. Right.
and you don't mind it, but then I call you up for the crew meeting, and then you tell me this on the same day as the crew meeting. That's what I don't like. Is that you say it on the same day, and it's just unprofessional.
Oh, if you're gonna say no, say no sooner.
You're ready.
Yeah.
You're
Say
ready
no
to
on the
go.
first day.
What I'm saying
Well-
is that, if you're gonna if I were to offer you a role or a position,
Don't wait till the day when we got to do something to tell us that you're not
Right.
going to
You're not
take
gonna
it.
show up.
right,
yeah.
don't wait till the day. If you're not gonna do it, just turn it down. But don't go say yes, and then weeks later you telling me that, hey, I won't be able to do it because of my schedule and shit. That's another thing that was going on in drama. That is gonna hurt you in the future. And if you ask me for another role again, how the fuck do I know? I can't. I'm getting so intense in here. How the fuck do I know that you're not gonna fuck this one up again like last time? That's what concerns me. And I had that happen with actors who sent auditions. That's another thing I can't stand. You ask me for a role, and I send you the audition submissions, and you don't get them by the deadline.
Must mean you don't want it.
Exactly. And then this is the second time this actor has done it. So if I were to, what makes you think I would do? I would
Hire
send you
you,
the audition.
yeah.
Yeah. What makes you think? Like I would love to select you, but if you can't really submit an audition by the deadline, then I don't know what to say.
I mean, I think sometimes also Hollywood is small.
Exactly.
It's a small town. It's people think it's a big town. It's not. It's a small industry, a small town. It just makes a lot of money, and it's prominent.
Atlanta's a big one.
It's prominent. But think about it if you're even in a smaller place like here. I'm pretty sure eventually you get to know everybody who's in. You're all hanging around the same spots. You're all doing the same things.
Watching the same podcast.
Exactly, watching the same podcast.
And also,
eventually you get to know each other, and somebody tells you I'm doing this, and you're going to tell the person, don't hire him. Didn't show up.
So after all this shit that I'm going through, I fired them. The only ones that are still committed are my director of photographer, which is cinematographer. I hate when people ask photographer. I'm like, no, director of photography would basically mean cinematography.
Photographer. Yeah.
It says it on every credit.
Wait, when people ask.
Yeah, people get confused with photographer.
What is that? What do you mean?
Like when I mention, so I got my director of photography guy doing it, and then this guy or this man or woman asked me, "Are you talking about photographer?" I'm like, "No, you
Different field, people.
I'm like, "No, you dumbass. Director of photography is cinematography."
Hopefully you didn't say that, but
No,
we,
he didn't.
we have photographers like when we
Yeah,
Look
you.
at
I
the
mean, you
post,
do
like-
need
we have
some.
we have media, so
This poster right here, like I see the credits right there. Let me see the credits. Robert Richardson, director of photographer. Oh, he takes pictures? No, it's obvious he's a cinematographer.
Yeah.
well, some people don't realize. Well, it's a motion.
What is what?
But
Yeah.
but
I'm
the
just
thing
kidding.
is,
Like, yes, you can't just. get mad
but
at
it's
that.
not an actual cinematographer who's getting confused with that term, right?
It's somebody trying to break
Because
into
that
the
would be a
industry.
little bit different. That'd be like,
Right.
look, you never heard the term DP,
Yeah, DP.
and you're a cinematographer.
Yeah.
All right, we might have an issue here
Well,
Exactly.
No, my cinematographer is not confused with it. It's just
Okay.
people I talk to about it get confused.
with the DP.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people.
So,
a lot of
no,
people
but-
don't know what
so
that
yeah,
is.
We don't use that term anymore.
But yeah.
in TFN.
My DP and AD and unit production manager and my makeup artist are the only ones that are committed. Only ones. I got my audio guy finally. So finally I got an audio guy.
They're hard to find, man.
Well, I had to fire him. And I fired him to the cashier role too. Sorry, but
Talking about an actor who's trying to be an audio person.
I don't know. It
sounds like a yes. That sounds like a yes.
I don't know if I did the right thing, but when you leave audio and sorry, but I feel like I was hurt. So.
Oh, when they leave one position, audio, and then they try to
be
an actor. Is that what the situation was?
Yeah, it's like if you want to fire me, like I understand shit.
I mean, I'm really bad at my job, so I understand if you want to fire me.
Shit happens, but. Another thing is that...
Well, the thing is you got to fire... Well, you have to make a decision. Like, if you recognize that somebody is either going to be a problem or they're being a problem, if you're in a leadership role like the director or producer, it's irresponsible for you not to deal with that because it hurts everybody else. Like, if I'm on your production and I know I don't have an issue with you, but I know you have an issue with somebody else, and it could possibly impact... me possibly showing up and having my day wasted because they don't show up, I would want you to deal with that. Or else I don't want to be involved with your production because I know that's always looming as a possibility.
Correct.
So it's like that you have to make some kind of decision and deal with that. And that's just,
yeah.
You got to respect every production that you participate in, no matter what your level of involvement is. You got to respect everybody's time.
And another thing is that, especially they didn't sign the contract, so I can understand it. But especially if you sign a contract and you do that, that is extremely unprofessional and not a good idea.
So why do you go through the? I don't know that everybody uses the release forms and contracts and things like that. But do you feel more secure when people sign on the dotted line for productions like that?
I feel like when people sign a release form, it shows that they're committed, and they can't make any excuses. I would say like it shows that you are committed. It shows that it's official.
Okay.
However, there are times where it does happen. Where there are times where
is that like a standard practice you always have?
It's always a standard procedure.
It's one of those things where it's better to have it than not to have it, right?
Yeah, because I can't tell who's committed and who's not committed, and I can tell who's committed. And
it's that extra step of security.
Yeah. Plus, this other makeup artist did not get back to me. I mean, she had 2 jobs.
2 regular jobs.
Yeah, and
why'd you hire her?
She
was like, pick me.
And she showed passion.
But just to, again, going to that, a person who's a makeup artist, their 2 main days of work. Well, their 3 main days of work is usually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's the days that we were filming on.
And those are their 2. There's other because I know a girl who does weddings, and I know a lot of people in the wedding industry. They only work 3 days a week. The rest of the week is just prep and things like that. Like that, those are the days where they make money to pay the rent. Those are the only,
You mean the other days, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
They don't do a lot of times. Yeah. That's just prep. A lot of times it's just like, if you're a makeup artist, I'm assuming let me clean my makeup brushes. Well, it's like.
Well, he's talking about somebody who has 2 regular jobs.
Yeah. Oh, on top of the. Oh, okay.
What I'm saying is
but if their profession is actually a makeup artist, their 2 days of work is Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Those are their 3. A lot of stuff is happening on.
What I don't understand.
Those are the event industry days. That's the schedule.
And when people say like, so I'm very sorry, sweetheart. Like, don't fucking sweetheart me. You know what you did was wrong. You know you weren't gonna do it anyways.
Yeah, sorries ain't worth much.
Sorry could kiss my ass. That's all I care.
I hate hearing excuses.
You know what we should.
I hate excuses.
I'm telling you. You know what I think we should all just do? Just be people of our word. If we say we're gonna show up, we're gonna show up. If we say we're gonna do something, we're gonna do it.
If you're committed to it,
let me tell you something. Let's also stop stabbing people and raping each other. How about that? Like, let's be people of our word.
Raping each other?
Yeah. So let's be people of our word. Let's stop stabbing each other and let's stop raping one another.
I didn't mention any names.
I didn't say any names. Stop doing all of that stuff, and maybe we can have a better society.
I don't know who you're talking about, but I want a list of people when we get off this podcast.
As much as
about the stabbing and raping people. I mean, everybody in Hollywood apparently is raping each other.
As much as I don't want to do it, although TJ kind of feels the opposite about it, so he really wants. So we talk about it, and the reason we're not saying this to like disparage people. We're saying this because we've had experiences like this on set, and it's a good way to vent about our problems and without calling them out. And and
he's being real nice about the fact that he's not dropping names. But this is just you got to understand that there's a lot going on besides you and your involvement with a project.
Yeah.
That's the whole
There's
thing.
other people
you can't
relying
make
on-
selfish
yeah.
decisions.
And the message of this, and in our next podcast, when it's just you and me again, we're gonna be talking about this again.
We'll be dropping names.
We won't be dropping names.
We'll be
I'm
dropping
sure
names,
that.
pictures, Facebook accounts, all that shit.
You're gonna have
We'll
like a
drop
whole
their
entire
numbers,
list
too.
of
I'm
their.
and their
Just kidding.
address.
We won't do that. We'll keep it nice and civil and pleasant and professional.
But anyways, like the message of this is
We'll do
you
that
know,
offline though.
Shut up. we wanna,
No images. He just wants the audio.
Shut up,
Just the
too.
audio. Just the audio.
we want to have every up and coming filmmaker to watch this podcast and understand what it's like, to be
It's
in
really
this
like,
industry.
yeah.
And I don't want to burn bridges with anyone.
Not a good idea. Not
no,
a good idea.
My whole motivation is to talk about movies and talk about filmmaking and what's my priorities and what got me this far and all that. And I will always keep talking about it. That's always been my main goal of life, is to pursue to talk about filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to talk about the side effects of filmmaking, especially when you're an up-and-coming filmmaker.
Yeah.
Just understand that you're not an enemy. Nobody's an enemy. Nobody is right or wrong. You're entitled to what you want to do with your life, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
Always be yourself in filmmaking. Don't let if people don't like working with you, just understand that they're not really committed. They're just here because they just want to take advantage of you. They just want that demo. They just want that.
A lot of actors are like that.
They're thirsty for that demo. Is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. They're so thirsty.
As they should be. They should be thirsty for demo reel, but then act like it's something important.
Yeah.
But
when
treat
you
it
actually
like a
get
gift.
Yeah,
It's like
treat it
it's
like
like
a
it's
gift.
like
Somebody's giving you an opportunity, basically.
This is a stupid analogy, but it's like stopping at a traffic light and there's no like color lights. There's no red, blue. There's no red, or yellow or green. Treat
You're right.
treat
This
it like
is really weird.
treat it like a stop sign, okay? Treat it like every other signal. Just follow it. I'm fucking with you. No, but seriously, like
That analogy made no sense.
I know, right?
Especially when you were talking about blue, I was like, wait, hold on.
Well, Santos.
I'm just wondering, wait, hold on. Are you
Santos
colorblind?
wanted me to entertain him, so I'm just entertaining him.
Oh yeah, I was talking to him. I was trying to get him on, but
Get him on. I want to talk with him. Santos, if
talk
you're
to him.
watching this video,
Come on over.
bring your ass over here. I want to meet you, man. I want to meet you, bro.
we'll get him on. It's
Get him
just
on,
like
yo.
his schedule's not lining up right now. But
Well,
what I'll do is
Come on in, brother. We need you.
We'll get Kamari to talk to him because I think
wanna meet Kamari, too.
Our schedules be. You haven't met Kamari yet?
Not yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was just me here last time.
I have not met Kamari. But like, let's. Anyways,
Well, Ruth is a host too. She's
You're
just
not a host.
she's not committed
you
yet.
You just came in.
No, I just, to be honest with you, like I said, I've had a lot of things
Yeah,
going on. I was at a
she's
trade
busy.
show. I was out of town.
Actually, I was gonna ask her if she wanted to be a host later because she's kind of like a regular appearance now. But
Regular.
see if she would.
On the regular.
She's good at interviewing people. But
Am I?
but yeah.
I think I am. Am I?
So another experience that happened.
so what's the resolution on this experience?
Hire people that are.
No, I mean, did you ended up just
Firing
them,
everybody,
just not
and
dealing
he's
with
looking
it?
for people.
And
so
when
you
you
hear that?
when
Hey,
you fire
wanna,
people, is it like
you want to post a job listing here? Go ahead.
when you fire people, do you
Sound like
just
Craigslist.
Yeah, exactly. Just
do you end on
post
good
it on
terms,
the
or
podcast.
do you feel like, hey, it's just not working, so I'm just gonna have to let you go?
That all
do you do?
depends. That all depends on how they react. If they get so mad because I have to let them go, then definitely on bad terms. Like I've had this one guy that I just didn't appreciate. He never showed up to the table reads. We had a Skype call and that was it. We were just talking about. He was telling me that he's down to do some crew work. He never showed up.
Yeah.
He never.
You gotta show
he
up.
never fucking showed up on day one. He never showed up to the table reads, and that's important. And that's when I fired him.
Yeah.
That's an indication.
Yeah.
Of,
And then he gets
That's
so
what I was
mad.
gonna say.
and
An indication. I was just about to say that.
he gets so mad and starts to lecture me by saying, don't burn bridges. Oh, I mean, I offered my, I offer some assistance on my fillabilities and shit. Don't offer me, like, don't just burn bridges and then offer dates and all that. I'm like, I made a mistake. I always autocorrect. What I mean is that, don't let them go and then offer dates. What I should have said was this, like, I have to let you go. That was it.
Yeah, that's probably the.
Just try to keep it nice,
and then if
clean,
they ask
and
you why,
polite.
you honestly look. People can never argue with. Well, people can argue with the truth all the time.
And then he called me butthurt over that
but
shit
if you,
too.
but if you sit there and be like, look,
So, yeah,
I
with
can't.
bad terms.
You know, you just. I've explained to people all the time. I'm the kind of person that I can count on my hand. Maybe like the 2 people who I ever. If I'm doing something, there's 2 people who I would go to, and then I know exactly what kind of things I would ask them to do. I am the kind of person that I am willing to give you a chance to work with me. I go, it's a pleasure to work with me. It is. You should be honored that I would even ask you to show up to work. It really is, because because we're gonna get this done, and we're gonna have you're gonna have satisfaction after it's done. And I'm gonna be very nice to you. I'm probably gonna treat you to lunch.
Right.
I'm gonna, it's gonna be really nice.
And
But if you don't show up, if you don't come through, that's gonna be the first and the last time I've ever asked you to work with me.
the last thing I want
I'll
is to
finish the
I have
project.
a very similar policy. I have a very
Like,
similar
I'm not,
policy.
like, we're just gonna get through this. We're gonna work it out. And now you can ask me to work with you, and I'll be like, sure. But I will never ask you to work with me ever again. There's a big difference.
I was saying, was it too loud?
No, I'm just saying
Okay.
that I almost run it, like it's like 9. It's past 9 now.
Oh yeah.
He needs to go
we
watch
gotta-
Robot Chicken.
We got to wrap this
Well,
up.
I need a ride though. No, but anyways, look. I understand if you have a parental problem, if someone has like surgery and all that, regarding all that stuff, but
Emergency.
Don't say
legit emergency.
Don't say yes to something that you're really not going to do.
Yeah.
Be a person of your word.
It's common sense. It's not rocket
Don't
science.
hold a spot, basically.
Yeah, don't fuck with me. I'm just saying.
Don't hold a spot. Don't say yes to a role and sit on
Right.
it, waiting for something better to come along. And then if nothing better comes, you take it. And if something better comes, you just flake out on this. It's
Right.
not. It's not right.
I
Because
can't
people want
stand
that
people
opportunity.
flaking out, and I understand. People could flake. Now, casting is a whole different story because, letting me know 2 months before, that's okay. It's just 2 months.
That you can't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just 2 months.
Yeah.
That's too much prior. What I don't appreciate is crew. Because
crew?
That's what thing I don't appreciate because I'm working my ass off. I'm raising money. I've raised about $1,332, and I'm still raising money. I'm still helping out.
And crews become kind of like
Yeah.
families, and
Crews,
you guys
families,
work,
it's a
and you
teamwork.
work like, and you really do work like you said, like a team.
That's why I'm mad.
And
is
each
because of
one is, you're basically doing things to accommodate the person next to you. So I can understand why you would.
Well,
be
the
mad.
crew and the actors are all one team, but it seems like the crew should have a more consistent understanding
Exactly.
of what it's like on the backside, just trying to put everything together.
Yeah.
I don't want to do a movie when it's just 2 people on the crew side. That's pain.
It ain't fun.
And I'm in the film too. I'm playing the main character. I can't do the camera work and all that stuff. So that's a whole pain in the fucking ass for me. And that's another thing. This is why I always do this. 3 table reads. You fuck up on one, that's okay.
Everybody's allowed.
Second chance is to redeem yourself. You fuck that up again, I'm gonna give you the one last chance. You fuck it up again, you're done.
When you say
3
fuck it
strikes,
up,
you're out.
You mean not come or just not do a
Yes.
good job?
Not
Okay, all
show
3?
up. Crew. Applies to crew and cast.
So you will give them 3 times of not
3
showing
times. You don't
What's
show
your
up.
policy is once?
Mine's is just once.
Mine is also once.
I give them 3
Like
chances.
if you don't, and I mean when I say once, it's like you don't even call me to let me know you're not gonna show up for anything, or or you decide that, hey, to call me like 15 minutes before everybody's there waiting for you. You're like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'm so sorry. Or if I've had people who I've worked with and we had meetings, like even at church doing other activities, people be like, I can't show up for this or that, but they'll say, but if you put me on the phone, I can at least listen to the conversation and contribute. I'm like, okay, so I think that's a person who's actually trying. They might not have shown up, but they're trying to be there. That's very different than somebody who just doesn't care.
Well, mine is a little bit different from that, and Anthony, maybe you'll adapt something similar to this in the future if you happen to go through this enough times. But basically, what I say, look at me making this about me. Sorry about that. But basically, what my current policy is basically you get, with me personally, 1 emergency. With Tampa Film Network, you get 2, but with me, it's 1 emergency. And I never want to know what the emergency is. Basically, if you can't make it on a day
emergency.
if you can't make it on a day that you said you would, basically all you tell me is just, I'm sorry, there was an emergency. It can be whatever you want it to be. But
everybody's
it's
different. Everybody's emergency is different. I get it.
Well, I don't want to get into the thing of, well, I would have showed up if it was me. I wouldn't have gone to the family reunion or whatever.
Yeah.
But also, it's only going to be one. It's only going to happen one time that either I can't do the shoot without you or we have to use an alternate because you couldn't show up. I'm only going to do that once with each person. After that one emergency, because I'm familiar with how many emergencies people on average tend to have a year, then it's just I can't work with you.
You see, and I'm a little different. I'm even more different. You see,
That's agreed to with everyone I work with long before we actually even
start. Yeah, exactly. See, I completely agree with you on that.
I've already said everything. I'm done now.
He's like, no more. I need to go watch Robot Chicken.
Oh yeah, we got to wrap it up. So
I will continue all this on part 3.
Part 3.
But as long as it's just you and me, nothing against you.
No. This is like you guys already had that conversation, so you just want to get into it. Want to finish it.
So before you go, Anthony, did you want to drop any info about any of your projects? Anything that you need to?
Yes.
You know, first of all, follow Anthony Caban on.
He's gonna have a shout out here.
Give me an
Facebook
right now.
Yes, Instagram, Deadshot Pro. Please do.
At Deadshot Pro's Instagram.
Yes.
Do you have a Twitter?
It's on hiatus.
Working on it. Okay.
Still working on it.
YouTube.
YouTube. I'm working on Vimeo now.
Vimeo.
Vimeo's awesome, man.
All right, brother.
Vimeo is. We're filmmakers.
Do you have a name to look up on there?
I'm working on it. It's a work in progress.
Definitely get there because you're a filmmaker.
Yeah.
You need to have a presence on either
my
Vimeo
work is
or
on YouTube. It's just that
not very proud of it.
I'm still currently on projects. I don't have the time to do all that stuff right now. Go on if you haven't heard about Star of the Apocalypse. If you want to be a zombie, hit me up on Facebook.
There you go.
I will talk with you and see what we got. If you want to be a crew, message me and give me your,
we know the criteria because we talked about it here.
You already know the criteria.
Are you looking for any particular crew right now?
PA. PA and a gaffer. That's it.
PA gaffer. Do they need any experience, any gear, anything like that?
It doesn't have to be experience or it could be experience or non-experience. You can bring the gear or we'll have the gear. We got some gear coming. That's why I'm ordering the gear myself. And we need an assistant makeup artist that won't flake out.
Okay, so they have to be able to tell time.
Exactly.
They have to be able to tell time and block off something in a calendar. They have to know how to do those two things.
And
avoid emergencies.
Mark those calendars. Make sure you make those plans for film. We're also raising money. Go to GoFundMe. Survive the Apocalypse on GoFundMe. I will make sure that he posts the link.
Make sure you say that very clearly because I actually don't know what the title is again.
Survival of the Apocalypse.
We're
raising money on GoFundMe.com. I will make sure that TJ will send the link, post the link in the description box below. Absolutely. And be sure that if you know anyone that wants to donate,
that likes the arts,
anyone that is a huge lover of film, it will not hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt to ask at all. So please spread the word, share the word.
And there's a limit, right? We don't want people giving too much money to the production, right?
It can be anything.
It shouldn't be over $2,000, right? That'd be too much.
The budget would be like $2,000.
Okay. No, so it's
I mean, you can donate $200. You can donate $300, $400, $500, $700. If you donate,
why not $800?
Why not $1,000?
Call us now. We have operators.
Why not blow the budget out of the water?
Call me at 1-800.com.
Operators are standing by.
Batteries not included.
Are we gonna have the dog doing the hula hoop in a minute come out?
Seriously, donate $5, $10, $25, $30, anything over $30, like $50, $100 would really help. So again.
And of course, follow Tampa Film Network on Facebook. Just type in Tampa Film Network, Instagram, Tampa Film Network, Twitter, Tampa Film Network, YouTube. And I want to thank you for tuning in to Tampa Film Podcasts. We'll be back next week. Next Friday, we got Joe O'Connor coming on. He was in Good Friends as the bad guy.
And then the other next
he's
Friday,
awesome.
you'll have me.
And the other next Friday, we will have Anthony back. Of course, we got to hear more of that drama.
Yeah.
Next time, I'm going to
You guys
start the
gotta finish
recorder.
it.
As soon as he walks in, the recorder's going. I'm catching it all.
And I just want to say
April
one last thing before we leave. Okay,
Absolutely.
I did read those rules while we were sitting here. You do have to show it.
For the Academy Awards.
Yes, for the Academy Awards, you do have to show it
But
in
do
a
we-
theater.
but do we know
At
how
least if it's in
long?
LA, a week. And it has to have at least 3 showings.
But do we know how
per day.
long that rule has been there? That's not a Netflix rule, right?
No. That's
It's been
those
there?
are rules that have been. That's why almost every film that's
Okay.
ever gotten has to be shown in theaters.
Okay.
Whether it's here, it doesn't have to be nationwide. It has to be in LA. It says it just has to be in LA. So there we go. I got the information.
All
Needed
right.
to say it.
And
April 12th, catch me.
Kamari, shout out to you, brother. I know you got sick, and I hope you're feeling better by next week. Thank you guys so much for watching.
And same thing with Adam Oliver, man. Dude, I hope you recover, bro. We're all praying for you, man. Diseases is really fucking difficult. So we're praying for you to get out of that place. We're praying for you, bro.
Shout out to Adam.
Get well, brother. All right? Get well.
All right, and peace. We're out.